everyone. I'm Raquel SSG, also Raquel SSG 2211. We have Pop Culture Republic, Positive Candor, and Apion. And
Hello.
is everyone doing well tonight?
Oh, yeah, doing
Excellent.
pretty well.
Me too.
Another great day.
Yeah, it was a pretty relaxing day. A little bit noisy and catching up what I missed last week with this show. I didn't want to watch it too soon or get it caught up too much ahead. So I was just, I watched all the 2 episodes earlier today. Took some notes down.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was switching between note taking and reviewing, and then working on my new, I don't know, icon here. As we have a Death Star with a cowboy hat, because Disney Star Wars has turned me to the dark side. I am now officially rooting for the Empire, or the new Empire, or whatever the team it is that is opposing the new Republic, because these guys are so incompetent.
We need proof that the Empire's returned.
Yeah.
2 of your pilots got killed.
Yeah.
You don't care about them, huh?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Just kidding. Everything's set up. Let's see. Let's talk for a little bit. While people are coming towards us. As far as you guys have seen, we're about 6 episodes in. We have 2 episodes left. How do you guys see this series so far?
Ups and downs like a roller coaster. It has
Ups
some
and
high
downs
points
and a low
has some
coaster.
low points.
Yeah, I gotta say the same. It's good and bad. It's up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
Which, there's plenty of stuff I like about it. So it's about 60-40 for me. It's not 50-50. It's there's more that I like than more that I dislike. But what I dislike is pretty sizable.
Yeah.
I have, it's not quite 50-50 to me. I agree with you. It's somewhere between there. I'm hoping, these last 2 episodes that are coming up the next 2 weeks are somewhat better in my hopes. But I guess we'll have to see that.
Yeah.
But I think everyone can agree that the star of this show are definitely Baylan Skoll and his apprentice Shin.
Yeah.
Those were the stars of the show in my mind.
And for me, I'd add Carson, because Carson is he's becoming a pretty good character in my book.
The pilot.
Yeah, the pilot, Captain Carson. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Asian guy that's in all the series, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
X-Wing pilot.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
Yeah. I mean, another good character. I like Ahsoka as a being, but I agree with you. They're, from what we've seen from Rebels, they're different characters.
Mm-hmm.
I have to say the underdog at this point in the series is definitely Jason. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Hello, Taylor Swift, greater than Disney Star Wars, and he's like, pizza.
Great name.
Hello. Thank you. Welcome. We're gonna talk about episode 5 and 6 of Star Wars Ahsoka. Give our thoughts and opinions about it. But I'm liking the series so far, despite its ups and downs. I just can't wait to see what's next with these last 2 episodes. Hopefully it won't disappoint. Yeah. But thank you for coming.
Oh, you're welcome.
I know
Yeah.
I meant to do this yesterday, but I was just so out of it and so tired. I'm like, there's just no way.
Yeah.
So yeah, thank you for all for coming for such short notice. I appreciate it. And don't forget to hit the like button, share the stream out, and you like what you see here, subscribe. Really appreciate it. And Phil's here. Hello, Phil, TMNT. How are you doing? Are we doing well?
Teenage Mutant Ninja
The
Turtle.
turtles,
Turtle in a half shell.
turtles.
Every time I
Power.
see his name, I think of that song. I love Ninja Turtles. Always have.
Definitely. I haven't seen the new movie.
Me neither. My friend watched it. He said it's pretty good. Like all things considered, with the whole April deal and all the other
right.
But he said it was pretty entertaining, so I might watch it.
Looking like $1 million. Thank you so much, Phil. Hey, Akeem, how are you? Long time no see.
Hello.
All right, since we have people in the chat, let's get started talking about episode 5 and 6 of Ahsoka. All right, let's. All right, episode 5, Shadow Warrior. So it starts out. What's the planet's name? I forgot.
I forgot it. So
Dang.
Planet X.
Freaking Thrawn says it too. He's like, the whales approach the planet, and he says the name Monarch or Mon.
No, that's not it.
No.
Red trees.
Red Forest Planet.
Well, they're not on that one anymore. Oh, in episode 5, though, yeah, they're still on that one.
Oh,
I was thinking of the new planet. My bad, from episode 6.
I think it's Parade, something like that.
Okay. All right. I should have wrote this down. What a bad start this to start with. Let's see here. Yes, planet Cetos.
Oh, that's right. Cheetos.
Cheetos. Yeah, planet is Cetos. I totally forgot that name. Why did not write that down?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're gonna discuss the episode, and then at the halfway point, we'll get to your comments. So don't worry about it. But let's start talking about the episode. So we go back to the planet Cetos here.
Yeah, Hera's,
Hera, lands at the planet Cetos and goes to the ancient temple where that, Balin just destroyed the map, unfortunately.
That was a great scene, too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One of the best scenes in the show was the fight, and then him just like, yeah, no one's following us, and just stabbed the map. I was like,
taking care of business.
Yep, taking care of business. Hello, Rocco the Brave. How are you?
Shut up, bud.
Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here.
Hi.
Hey there.
So, her son Jason comes out of the ship with Chopper, and he asks if it's all right to come out. Her mom,
I can't believe she brought him with her. Like, she brought him with her on this dangerous mission. Like, dude, come on.
Well, it was take your son into danger today.
Yeah, take your son into danger day. Like, take your son. Yeah, but they needed him to use his force power, so there's a reason in the plot. But still, it's just like hard to overlook like something like this. Like he's so small, and like if they just get hit and blown out of the sky, they're both gone. So it's just crazy.
But we'll get to that.
Yeah,
there's something amiss with that.
But I do like how she tells him, like, stay with Chopper. We don't know this unknown planet. There could be dangers around any corner. And it's like, that's pretty smart. Like, she can't keep her eye on him 24/7. So having him stay
right,
with
but Chopper's
with
capable
him. Droid.
Chopper can keep an eye on him.
Chopper, the homicidal robot.
Yes.
So Hera is looking around. She thought she hears something. She takes her weapon out, and she sees Ho Wang holding Sabine's Mandalorian helmet, and he says that that he told Ahsoka Sabine to stay together, but they never listen, and he has a sad look on his face.
Truest line ever in the whole show. Because he did tell them, and they didn't listen, and then bad, terrible things happened after that when they separated.
Yeah. Right there. Just like forlorn.
It's crazy when a droid has some of the best emotional moments.
Right.
Can't even make faces like this. I like that he's good, but he shouldn't be the best when you have human actors. But yeah.
So we go to the space between worlds, which looks very similar to the space worlds we see Ezra and Ahsoka in Star Wars Rebels. So Ahsoka is between worlds right now, and she sees her old master, Anakin Skywalker. You know, I was pretty excited and nostalgic in the scene for
Me
sure.
too. I love Anakin, one of my favorite characters of all time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so great to see Hayden. He looks great. Like he looks like just yesterday he was in Revenge of the Sith, but it's been like 10 years or more.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Well, Hayden's in his 40s, so they kind of like de-aged him a little bit in the scene.
Yeah.
Which is understandable.
Yeah, he looks good. Like
he looks
I don't
good,
mind.
yeah.
I don't mind the CGI. Some people said he looks fake, and that's their opinion. You know, it's fine. But I think he looks
okay.
good.
Yeah, I thought it was much better than, say, some of the earlier attempts.
Yeah. So Ahsoka's like wondering why she's here, and he says, you know, you lost the fight, and it's good you recall. So then that's when Ahsoka remembers that she was beaten by Baylan Skoll, and he tells her that she still has a chance, and she's like, chance? And he says, to live, and she's wondering what's going on, and Anakin says to finish your training, and she's like, a little late for that, which, yeah, it is really late for that, to be honest. And I think he says one is never too old to learn, Snips. And she's
know.
She's like, what's the lesson? And he says, live or die. And she says, da da da. She says she won't fight him. And Anakin says that he heard that before, and they
Luke Skywalker reference.
Hit lightsabers.
Yep.
I like the Luke Skywalker reference. That's one Member Berry reference I actually like. Because it's cool for Anakin to say that, meaning like,
yeah,
he's so much wiser. This is Anakin after everything, but he's in his like purest form before he went to the dark side type of thing. It's cool. I like it a lot.
His purest form before he turned Darth Vader.
Yes. And I like this duel. I think it's cool. It looks amazing on this bridge. There's some good exchanges. The choreography is pretty solid for this show.
I mean, look at the footwork right here.
Yeah, and like Anakin's like, he's like the proclaimed best lightsaber fighter, and he just toys with her. Like at no point was he ever really gonna lose. Like,
yeah, you could tell he was just toying with her. She could never beat him.
No, he's the chosen one.
Yep.
But he wants her to learn, so he's not really holding back as much. But he is holding back, but he's like gives her enough because he could like definitely power himself. Okay, I'll go like 20% on this exchange, see where she's at. Okay, I can go a little bit higher.
I will fight him left-handed.
Right?
Yeah.
It's like Princess Bride.
So back to Hera. She is. Let's see here. My mouse. So Hera and Huang, I wonder where the others are, and they sort of suspect that they're on the hyper space ring, and that's when pilot or Captain Carson comes in saying that they're overdue to return to HQ because Senator Organa can only give cover for so long with Hera and Huang.
I don't understand why. Like, just tell them that two people died. Like 2 people died. 2 ships were destroyed. I didn't do
Right.
it.
Well, if you
It wasn't an
remember,
accident,
she
really.
wasn't. She didn't never got permission to do this mission.
I
So
know,
this
but
was
it's the proof that they needed. Basically, is what I'm saying. Like they
Mhm.
wanted proof
right,
from her, and their deaths are the proof. So it's
right.
like
But
they should give her more time and stuff. But, yeah.
she was never given permission to do this mission. So she's like undercover.
Yeah. She's
which the-
AWOL.
yeah, she's AWOL. And Hera doesn't want to leave. Doesn't want to go anywhere before knowing what happened, which makes sense. Carson says if they stay out here without reporting in, people are going to ask questions, which is understandable. And Jason right here says that says to his mother there's something in the water, and she's like wondering what is it. And he says he feels something that is out there. And Hera asks Chopper. Chopper doesn't pick up anything. And Jason's pretty adamant that he feels something out there. And Carson comes back, says to Hera, we need to figure out what to tell command. She says, Hera says she'll cover it and use her status as
Yeah, she'll pull rank.
Pull rank. Jason says Jason tells his mother to listen to the waves. So she's listening to the waves, and he's like, "Can you hear that? Lightsabers." And she listens again. I don't know if she hears the lightsabers or not because she's not a force wielder.
Not yet.
Not
Yeah,
not
don't
yet.
rule it out.
But she says to get back on the starships, and they're going to sweep the ocean. So right here in this scene, Jason is showing abilities as a force wielder, just like his father.
Yes,
Kaden.
there's definite potential here for sure.
Definitely has potential here. Yes. And Carson comes in saying, what he's missing. Oops, I got the wrong scene here.
Yeah, he gets frustrated and asks, "What am I missing here?"
Yeah. And Hugh Wing tells Carson, Jason has abilities just like his father as a force wielder, a Jedi. He's like, okay,
Yep, good enough for me.
good enough for him.
Which makes sense in the universe of Star Wars. Like there are people with abilities, so I like that he's not like questioning, like, "Wait, what abilities?" Like, no, that's the thing. That's a common thing. There's hundreds of them at one point. You know what I mean? So I like Carson's response for sure. That's what you should.
Yeah, he's like, "What are you missing here?"
That's it. No, that's Carson is like the everyman here. He's the audience. He's the audience watching, and he's somebody we can relate to, and it's a very cool character to have.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed. So we go back to bad scene. So Jason Chopper looking out in the ocean. Let's see if I can get this scene here. Here we go. So back to where Ahsoka and Anakin are having their duel. And she's doing her best to hold her own with her master. And Anakin cuts the bridge, and Ahsoka falls down.
Anakin finally has
to
the high
what
ground.
seems like, the past. The past when she
I love
was.
this part so much.
I love this part too. The past when she was still a Padawan, her Anakin was still around. The Clone Wars were still going on. Like, I was pretty excited seeing this scene for sure. Very nostalgic. So Anakin says this is a war. As says, I think, as a Jedi, it is our job to lead. That doesn't mean we make mistakes. And
Again, he would know.
Yeah.
He's done it all.
At this point, going back, it's like when you think about their ages, they were pretty much child soldiers. Like Anakin was like 19 or 20. Young Ahsoka was, I don't know, probably 14 or 15.
Yeah, it shows you what depth the Republic had to do to fight this war. Like, conscript kids into the army, like you're saying, like 14, 15-year-old kids, and she becomes like a general at like 15. Like, it's insane.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another reason I can't support the New Republic.
Right? They're just gonna do it again. Oh, we got another war. Get your kids ready.
Yeah.
Put some armor on them. It's like, what? Shouldn't we go make some more clones or something?
Like there's like devastation all around them. Death and devastation.
Awesome. You got medical droids and then real life clones, not just CGI people running around.
And she's like, Ahsoka is like, our mistakes cost lives. That's not what I trained for, she said. And Anakin here says we must adjust to our times. When Obi-Wan trained him, we were the keepers of the peace. But to win this war, I must train you as a soldier. Jedi are not soldiers.
No.
Mace Windu said that they were keepers of the peace, not soldiers. Yep. So Anakin says that him and Obi-Wan were keepers of the peace. But Ahsoka's a soldier? That pretty much contradicts what he said.
Yeah.
It makes the Jedis like they're wrong. They should have just stayed out of it, but they took matters into their own hands and started breaking their own rules, basically. So like, it's good because it shows the Jedi like thought they were like this moral high ground where they're just holier than thou, but like they make mistakes too for sure. They're not perfectly good,
Ahsoka is like, is that all I will teach my Padawan one day? How to fight. Anakin says teaching is not it's cracked up to be, apparently. And Ahsoka's like, really, what makes you say that? And he's like, joking. And she's like, you're joking? He's like, yeah. How can you joke at the time like this? Which is true. And he's like, I'm teaching you how to lead, how to survive. When you do that, you gotta have to fight. And she's like, what if I want to stop fighting? And he's like, then you die. So right here, Ahsoka's like questioning things like, why do we need to continue to fight? I don't want to keep fighting. And Anakin's telling her, if you don't keep fighting, then you die. So she's definitely having a struggle here within herself.
Showing this is a perfect comparison to what she's going through in real time with the water and like trying to decide if she wants to keep living or let herself drown. There's layers to this.
We'll
really
get
good.
to that. So she's like just seeing all this chaos and destruction going around her. Now we go back to my mouse is going haywire. Let's see. So we go back to Jason and Chopper. They're seeing the starfighters, I think. If I'm giving that right name correctly. Starfighters and her and his mom on the ghost ship, sweeping across the ocean. I have to say, Chopper in the scenes looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the whole composition of the shot looks great. Jason's right in center frame. Chopper's there, looking awesome.
So far, they've done an excellent job with the CGI and landscapes and details. It really made me believe they were on set someplace filming it.
Definitely. In the ship, Hera, Huang and Hera are talking, and Huang is saying he's surprised that the New Republic approved this mission. And Hera says they never changed their mind. She came anyway. So Wang is so this mission is unauthorized. Definitely is. They're undercover. And Senator Organa is giving them cover as much time as possible. So definitely risky. And Hera is questioning herself with her decision, saying that she's some general. Maybe the senators are right. Maybe they're out here chasing ghosts. Possibly. And Huang sings, you're saying you do this because you care. That's why people like you. Sure enough. And Hera's questioning, where is Ahsoka and Sabine? People don't vanish into thin air. And Huang's saying no.
They do, though, in Star Wars. That happens quite a bit.
Yeah.
They become one with the Force. Like Obi-Wan literally did that exact thing.
Yeah.
Kind of funny if you think about it.
Hera's questioning if there is a chance they're out there. And Huang says, always, especially Lady Tano or Ahsoka. And right here he says, Hera, that, she's tenacious. Definitely she is. Definitely has a stubborn streak. And Huang says, right here, this is really interesting. So was her master. So did Huang had an encounter with Anakin Skywalker in the past? Pretty interesting.
I'm sure he did. I mean, you also have to wonder if Huang even knew what happened to Anakin, who Anakin became.
Right.
Because there's moments of silence when Hera kind of asks, well, what was her master like?
Yep.
And Huang says intense.
Yeah, he was intense.
Mm-hmm.
Which is an understatement.
Yeah.
Definitely understatement.
But it's definitely
Huang couldn't just come out and say, oh, well, he was just the Dark Lord of the Sith, Darth Vader, nothing special.
Chopped down a bunch of kids at the Jedi Temple,
That was just gruesome, man.
Murdered 10 people. He went on a couple massacres. Just a little bit of dark side influence there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm sure, he saw him all through the Clone Wars when he was first introduced to the Council, because he was stationed on Coruscant, right, at the Jedi Temple. So yeah, I'm sure he knows about all of Anakin's exploits and what he did.
Mm-hmm. So, Jason calls in on the ghost, saying that that Chopper thinks he has something, and some kind of direction. Just nonsense numbers, really. I can't remember what the numbers were. And Hera's like, how low? Jason says, very low. Go now, please. So something's, I guess, right under their nose, so to speak. Now, back to Ahsoka and Anakin Skywalker. Anakin quotes, he doesn't know this battle. And Ahsoka says, this was the siege of Mandalore. We had parted ways by now. So this was after that she left the Jedi Order.
Yep. Struck out on her own, went her own way.
Love this shot too.
Yeah.
Because it
Arms
like
folded.
yeah, this is where she got it from. Like
Yeah.
basically like Anakin kind of gave her that attitude and stuff. Like
Yeah, definitely.
it's her whole look.
Anakin says, looks intense. She said it was. He said, you did well. You are a warrior now, as I trained you to be. A warrior? Don't you mean a soldier? Again, contradicting himself. And she's like, is that all? He says, Ahsoka, within you will be everything I am. All the knowledge I possess, just as an inherited knowledge from my master, and he from his. You part of a legacy, he said.
Oh yes.
Okay, so she's a part of.
Oh yeah. By proxy, she's been trained by some of the greatest Jedi to ever live. Like technically, she was kind of trained by Yoda because Yoda trained some of the people that trained Anakin, so he passed on that knowledge. And Qui-Gon, Obi-Wan, all the greats, yeah.
Yeah,
she has all that.
Count Dooku trained Qui-Gon Jinn.
Yep.
Qui-Gon Jinn trained Obi-Wan. Obi-Wan trained Anakin. Anakin is trained Ahsoka. And yes, you're correct. Right, Apion. Yoda did pass on wisdom and knowledge to these individuals I just said, including Ahsoka. And Ahsoka's passing on that knowledge to Sabine now?
Yeah. Sabine's part of the legacy, apparently.
That's rather questionable, and I just don't agree with it.
I don't either. I've got so many problems with that. I mean, before you know it, Sabine will be moving stuff around with the Force, change her name to Skywalker. It's Skywalker, Sabine Skywalker.
I mean, yeah,
she couldn't even move a cup.
Yeah, I agree. Sabine is Ahsoka's apprentice, but I do not feel that she's the right candidate as a president's apprentice. She's a Mandalorian. That's her roots right there. Yep. She's a Mandalorian. She doesn't have the gift of the Force. She should be stick what she knows, what she's Mandalorian. So I'm disappointed that Sabine is an adequate apprentice for a Jedi, which I don't really agree with at all. I think she's not really a good choice as a Padawan for the path of the Jedi.
Yeah, and I think this is cool to show this scene too, because this scene is actually at the beginning of Revenge of the Sith, because Anakin's trying to rescue Palpatine on the ship flying over Coruscant while she's doing her battle here. So he that's why he's like, I wasn't with you. Like, oh, it's nice I get to see what you were doing while I was on my mission. So it's kind of a little bit of a bridge to Revenge of the Sith too. This is what Ahsoka was doing in that movie, basically at the beginning.
Right. She's like questioning. She's questioning herself, and she says, "But my part of that legacy is one of death and war." And Anakin says, "You are more than that because I'm more than that. More than that." Really? Then why did you turn to the dark side then?
Yeah.
True. Yeah, it's a good point right there.
But he did bring life of two amazing twins into the world that helped change things. And then he did,
Luke and Leia, yes.
Kill the Emperor for a time. He was dead-ish. I'm using air quotes like you could see them, but yeah. He redeemed himself a little bit. But yeah, he had a dark side for sure. He went through a little bit of a phase there. Just a little bit. Just a little one.
And Ahsoka says, "You are more, Anakin, but more powerful and dangerous than anyone realized," which is true.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we all saw, what he did in the Jedi Temple. We all saw what he force choked Padme into unconsciousness. So yeah, he definitely has that dark side of him for sure. I mean, don't forget, like, when Anakin saved his mother, she died in her arms because she was kept as a slave. I forget that where are those red eye, beady
Tatooine?
eye? Yeah.
With the sand people?
Yeah, the sand people. Yeah,
Tusken
she spoke
Raiders?
there. Yeah. Yeah, he definitely was really hurt and angry and used that anger to strike down the sand people.
Oh yeah, chopped
So
off heads, killed women and children. It was insane.
so
And then he admits it to Padme too.
Yeah.
that
She
right
still
there
married him.
that right there was
Like she could change him.
what
She
Yeah.
saw the good in him.
Bad
She
boy.
could-
I'm gonna change that bad boy.
so that right there was the fall off point of him of the path of the Jedi, because he uses anger that wasn't
Mm-hmm.
approved of the Jedi Order.
Oh yeah, Jedi's aren't supposed to strike anybody in anger. That's
So
not
that
their
was
way.
that right on that moment he it wasn't really technically a Jedi no more, even though he was. But since he used that anger, he was more he was how would you say this? He was more weak, more going more closer to the dark side.
Yeah,
So
he's like
there was
blinded
definitely
by his rage. Yeah.
yeah, so he definitely had that weakness. And I remember this quote what Yoda said: "Fear leads to the dark side. Anger leads to hate. Hate leads to suffering." And that's what happened with Anakin. And
All
and
of
that's
it.
where he fall to the dark side because of that reason.
See, and that's why they said he was too old to begin Jedi training, because attachment to his mother and like the fear of loss, which is all that happens. Like she gets killed, he can't save her, and then yeah, it's the first step down the many steps that he takes to full dark.
Mm-hmm. And Anakin says, "This is what is that what this is all about?" And Ahsoka says, "If I am everything you are," and Anakin says, "You learn nothing," and she's like, "Don't say that." He's like, "Back to the beginning," and you see a little flashback of him, or let's say, was it flashback or foreshadowing? Maybe both. Of showing his Darth Vader-esque.
I love that shot. It's so cool. I'm not gonna lie, it's badass. See him flashing in
with
the
his red lightsaber. All this time he had the blue lightsaber. Now it switches to red, saying, he's saying, "Back to the beginning. I give you a choice: live or die."
Right.
So he's going into his Darth Vader persona right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, his eyes go yellow, and he's got his red blade, and he's fighting more ferociously, and he's doing like his little flex thing he was doing against Obi-Wan, where he's like flexing and fighting. He's fighting much more aggressively this time, because it's like the first time she fought him, she was fighting the light Anakin, lighthearted Clone Wars Anakin, and then this time she's fighting Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith Anakin. Like
right.
Yeah. And she's like, "No, I won't fight you." He says, "Incorrect," and they're fighting. And I think he says, "You lack conviction," very Darth Vader.
Starts talking more like Vader, and walking, like his mannerisms change a bit more and stuff. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah. And they're fighting. I love the fight scene in this scene.
I love when like they do the flash, they clash, and then like Ahsoka's eyes turn yellow for a time, and I don't know if that's like the very end of the fight, but yeah, there's some great little character moments.
Yellow?
For one shot, they flash.
Okay, I wasn't sure, because there are times when her lightsaber looked like it wanted to start glowing, kind of orange.
Right there. That's it. See her eyes? Those aren't her eyes.
Unless that's a reflection.
Because it might be the function of the lightsaber. I can't really tell.
It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell.
But she is kind of making an angry face, and his eyes just turned yellow. Maybe they're saying like if she, follows this path, she'll become like him, evil and corrupt.
Maybe.
There's point of conversation here with this part.
Yeah, because I think what they're trying to, it's not a well executed scene. We get some member berries, but it's not well written. What they're trying to do, what they're trying to set up, it's not that clear. I can understand what they're wanting to do, but it's just bad writing.
Mm-hmm. And right here, I think she has the lightsaber against his own lightsaber against his throat here, saying, but she chooses not to hurt her master, and saying that she chooses to live. Anakin steps back and collects itself, something we kind of really don't see when he was alive. I guess you could say, his son Luke brought back sense into him, I guess you could say. But says there's hope for you yet.
Mm-hmm.
And the space between worlds disappears and she's engulfed in water.
Yeah, and I totally believe that he changed because in Return of the Jedi, like during Luke and Vader's last conversation, he's just like, tell your sister that you were right about me, because like he said earlier to Leia, like there's still good in him. I sense it. You know what I mean? So that's what he's referring to, and he's basically affirming like, Luke, all your you convincing me, and you did it. Like you really brought me around.
So here's the problem I have with this scene. So she's been underwater all this time, and she like, at this point she should have been, I don't know,
drowning, dead.
Yeah, like, so wait, she's been waiting underwater trying to grasp for life all this time. You can only hang on for life underwater for so long.
Right. That I had a problem with that as well, because they don't explain. It's like, oh, she fell off a cliff into the water and into the world beyond worlds. It's like, come on, there's no portal there. You should have at least shown her like disappearing in midair, like poof, before she hit the water.
I'm definitely not sold on the scene. Okay, so she's been underwater this whole time and she's still alive.
Princess Leia breathed in space, so.
Oh, I see.
Force
we
bubble.
have George Lucas in the chat. We can
Yes,
always
we
ask
do.
him.
George, how do Jedis breathe underwater without their little breather things they use in Phantom Menace?
Yeah.
All right,
Is it the Princess Leia bubble? They didn't show it, but
take a pause here, and we'll continue on. Rocco says, "My dad is a meat cutter and took me to work, and they almost fired him for taking me. She's just bringing him into a secret war zone." Well, as we say, or she says, Ahsoka, at that point, the Battle of Mandalore, they're already separated. She already left the Jedi Order. So he didn't know that she took place in that war.
I think he's talking about Hera when we were on
Hera when we were talking about take your kid to work day.
Yeah, that's what.
Oh, okay. The droid and the blue musk are my favorites of the show so far.
Blue Musk, aka Thrawn. Dun, dun, dun.
You're never too old to learn, though. True, never too old to learn.
Yeah, and Anakin's the perfect one for that, because he was the oldest Padawan that they'd have up in that point.
Snips,
I love it. Yep, that's her nickname.
And it's cool to get. It's really cool to hear Hayden call her that. Yeah.
Hello, Lost Wanderer. How are you? I think Hayden stole the show with with his OG Episode 3 choreography. Awesome to see he still has it. Absolutely.
Yeah, he probably worked with coaches on getting the form back before they filmed the scenes.
Yeah, the way he was swinging that lightsaber around, it looks just as good as ever.
Mm-hmm.
Really outshined a lot of other lightsaber fights.
Would you all want to see General Organa?
Only if they use her daughter to do the face again like they did in Rogue One.
Yep.
I'd be okay with that. But somebody else as Leia? No. No. It needs to be a Fisher, member of the Carrie, like Fisher's family.
Hera, not a Force user. Nope, she's not. But a Filoni Jedi needs to donate to the Church of Jedi, and they too can use the Force, so she'll be a Jedi too.
Yep. Like you can be a Jedi, you can be a Jedi, and you can be a Jedi too.
Check under your seats. What's that? A lightsaber? Oh,
no. Person needs his own Republic Squadron show. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah, Carson, Gina Carano's character, but that won't happen.
Damn, that'd be kind of cool. Like Battlestar Galactica, like you follow the pilots and like their date, like what they go through.
Mm-hmm.
Step away from the lightsabers and go more into just space battles and dogfights, and that would be pretty interesting to see on a live action show.
It would be. I'm definitely up for it.
Like Top Gun, but with Star Wars, you know.
Phil says, TMT says, young Ahsoka actress was also young Gamora. I did not know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Pop
and the
says,
young actress
cool
did the young actress did a fantastic job.
I thought so too. I thought she was really on point.
Yeah. I mean, she was doing a much better job emoting than Rosario Dawson, which is a shame because Rosario Dawson is a great actress. She just didn't have much to work with here.
Yep, just a lot of her with her hands crossed, making weird statements like, "Should I trust Sabine? What am I doing it right, Hu Yang?" Like just asking weird questions, like
you're the Jedi wannabe training somebody. You should know.
Yeah.
I love it. She's reacting to her second battle loss from the Clone Wars.
Yes.
Yeah, that scene is real good. She's seeing the dead clones and like
I kind of remember that
people under her command. Yeah.
She got a little hot-headed and a little full of herself and got carried away and saw the consequences of her actions. I remember that scene.
Got a bunch of clones killed and wow, I messed up.
Well, the Jedi in the Clone Wars were soldiers. Before that, they were peacekeepers.
Yep. And they were good for negotiations, you know, solving disputes in a more civilized manner. The lightsabers were just for defense type of thing, but that all changed.
Yeah, even Qui-Gon Jinn said something like, we're just Jedi. We can't fight a war for you.
Yep, exactly.
Mace Windu pretty much had that sentiment as well. Or keepers of the peace, not soldiers. Yet Mace Windu led a battalion of Jedis into battle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, he was pretty much. Yeah, he was pretty bad all by himself, though. I was like,
right.
He's going to do what he's going to do.
Pretty much. Rocco says, I love they added a lighthearted Anakin moment from CW with his joke.
Little lighthearted Anakin's good.
Hello, Panawannabe. How are you? Palps, I think Palpatine, wanted the Twi'leks to lose. I think that's how you say it.
Yeah.
If Anakin did have a mission there, he probably would have met Hera, but not sure. BB shows Hera meeting Omega. I'm sure there's a reason for that introduction. Possibly. We don't know for sure.
Oh, Bad Batch. I was like, BB? Oh, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I was kind of wondering what BB meant. I'm like, okay, Bad Batch. That's the thing.
Bad Batch or could be that little brown robot
I mean,
BB-8?
Beach Ball 8.
Yeah, could be too. Hey, Bart, kitty, hello, meow. Anakin breaks emotionally. Not many of the other Jedi share as much loss as he did.
No.
In CW, the Council even lies to Anakin about Obi-Wan dying for a time. That sure didn't help their cause any. No, it did not.
Nope.
And this also shows how the Jedi's whole thing about like locking emotion away and stuff is kind of a bad idea to begin with. Like that just shows that they're not as caring as heartful as they should be. They're just gonna like let stuff happen and like don't let your emotions happen. It's just like that goes against human nature, especially if you're a human Jedi or any of these other species for that matter. So that's always kind of been a flaw in the Jedi's is like no emotions. Like I understand not letting yourself be controlled by emotions, but telling everybody to like act like robots is not a good idea either.
Right.
No.
All right. The Jedi were too rigid in their code.
Mm-hmm. It needed to change. Jedi do need to change. Balin's
no
right.
attachments, no emotional attachments. So yeah, that's going to set up kids for lots of problems as they grow up.
Right. I see the Jedi as like, yes, there are peacekeepers, but I'm seeing them more like monks in a way.
Mm-hmm. That's kind of what they originally were like. They wanted themselves to kind of be, but things kind of got lost in the sauce.
Mara says meow, meow, meow. That Obi-Wan as a bounty hunter arc was amazing. I didn't quite enjoy that. I love is that what's this about? Like, come on, let's go. Luke brought me back.
Right? Like, that's all in the past. Why are you bringing up old stuff?
Would have loved, I mentioned in this scene, this is the battle you gave me half of the 501st. And Rex, remember you built my lightsabers better. Season 7 reference. Yeah, that would have been good, yeah. I love the Starfader. What could have been of Obi-Wan didn't cook him. Well,
extra crispy.
That would definitely been interesting if that wouldn't happen, but I guess we wouldn't know.
Yeah.
So she went Sith, then let it go. Luke, when he reaches out, throws the lightsaber to the side.
Yep.
Well, we can't really tell because it might just be the lightsaber reflecting off her eyes, really.
Right. I mean, there's really no indication that she was like tempted by the dark side here, or at least I didn't get that impression.
It could be, kind of Rami says, it could be the reflection, or she is balancing the Force since she was the sister's spirit.
I'm not sure I follow that. Yeah.
I don't know. How is this? So this is how Maz gets Luke's lightsaber. It just falls out of nowhere from the world between worlds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will never know.
I think Ahsoka has like some spirit in her body, like she's sharing her body with some spirit, and that's in one of the other shows or something. I think Rocco was telling me that the other day.
Oh, I forgot.
I'm not sure.
Hey, it's George Lucas.
Hi, George Lucas, with your eyes.
See what happens when you sell your franchise off?
Money talks.
That species has stronger kings than humans. Duh.
You mean lungs, Rocco?
Force status is a thing. Lungs. Okay, you mean lungs.
I didn't even see. I just knew. Okay.
Her tendrils are hollow like dinosaurs, and she uses them to breathe.
Yeah.
Hey.
I think Carson was supposed to be in the Carano spinoff.
Oh yeah,
Gina Carano's. Yeah, the I forget what they're going to call it. The New Republic spinoff with Gina Carano and a few others. It's what Favreau had planned before he was let go or left or something.
in the Clone Wars series, Ahsoka dies and is brought back by the light side of the Force entity.
Mhm.
We'll get that in a few seconds. Okay, back to the episode 5. So Ahsoka's floating in the ocean, barely alive. And she is rescued by the squadron. Thankfully enough.
Jason's the reason that they knew where she was. Jason was
Mhm.
clutch here. She owes
Yep.
Jason her life, basically.
Yeah, Ahsoka survived because of Jason.
She should train Jason. That would be all right.
Oh
I'm
man,
down.
that would make so much sense.
Yeah, it makes more
And he's the right age too.
definitely-
Like he's not too old. Yeah.
Yeah.
It makes definitely more sense with Ahsoka taking Jason as a Padawan than Sabine. I mean, Jason's father, I forget his name.
Kanan.
Kanan.
Yeah. Freddie Prinze Jr.
His master was, I forgot her name. The green skin.
Yeah, she was killed during
Jedi.
Order 66. Was it Shock?
Yeah.
I think it was Shanti. I think so.
Yeah, she was killed during the Order. Yeah.
Shanti. So, Shanti and her Padawan, Kaden, and Jason is his son. So it definitely has, in my mind, has a chance of being a Padawan of Ahsoka more than Sabine is, in my opinion. I think he's the right candidate for it.
Oh, easily. He's already showing powers like that. He's attuned with the Force at a young age. It's all the evidence is there that he would be a worthy candidate.
Padawan.
Yeah, Padawan for sure.
Definitely for sure.
With that name and in the back lore, he might go to the dark side, like Padawan would be saying too. But yeah, hopefully not. We already have enough evil Jedis.
Yeah.
So
Kylo Ren's coming up around the corner, so.
So she's rescued. We go back to Jason. They're coming back, rescuing Ahsoka. Jason and Chopper looking at the ghost ship.
They don't say it here, but I bet Jason feels Ahsoka's presence in the ghost in the ship.
Yeah,
because he's that good with the Jedi, with the Force powers already. I bet he feels her in there.
Yeah, a little bit strange to see her without her headpiece right here.
Yeah, I'm not too sure how I feel about the makeup, but then we don't know enough about her species to know what the skin is and what the Liku are.
The tendrils are made of, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would like to know. So she wakes up. Hu Wang's there. She's asking how long she's been out. Hu Wang says she's been out for one rotation, and says you might have been lost for good, if not for Jason. And Ahsoka's wondering, where's Jason? Hu Wang says he's with his mom, with a squadron of X-Wings, all unauthorized, of course, he says. Of course, unauthorized. This is a secret, unauthorized mission that General Hera took upon herself. And Ahsoka's asking, okay, what about Sabine? Hu Wang says, no, we have not found her. And he was hoping, if she could explain what happened. She's rather puzzled. So they go outside. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to say, I really wanted Hu Yang to go Ahsoka, and then her to go Ahsoka the Gray. That's what they used to call me. I'm Ahsoka the White now. I know that's gonna piss you off, Pop, but it is what's happening. Like,
It is. I mean,
she's
I don't
literally
want to be
Ahsoka the
negative, but they keep aping from so many
White.
good movies and TV shows, as well as member berries from previous Star Wars properties. And it's
The
like,
white
oh,
robe.
I don't want to get started because I could just go on and on.
That would trigger you a bit.
Yeah.
Oops. Ahsoka the White. That's what they call me.
Ah.
I would have died if she said that. I would have laughed so hard. I'm like, oh no, that's a step too far now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I can't condone that type of
Filoni
blatant plagiarism.
Yeah, Filoni having delusions of grandeur, thinking he can write as good as Tolkien.
Right.
Is Ahsoka wearing cholo pants? I don't know. That's what they do look like. Lean
So,
like Ahsoka, left and right.
Ahsoka goes outside, meets Chopper, Hera, Jason. Jason and Ahsoka hug, and he tells Ahsoka right here that he heard her fighting, and she's like, puzzled look in her face that says, "You did?" And he's like, "Who you were fighting with?" And Hera comes, interrupts, saying, to Huang, "Why won't you show Jason the starship?" And Jason says, "You already seen the starship before." And Ahsoka's like, "A Jedi starship?" And Jason gets all excited. And Huang says to Jason, "Come along, I'll show you the training room." Jason asks Huang if he could train him. Huang says no. How about help him build a lightsaber? The answer was no.
I love Huang so much, dude.
Yeah.
Just like, he says what he feels. I love it.
I wonder
Doesn't hold back.
I wonder if he's saying no because that's, I wonder if he's saying no because his mom doesn't want him
If Harris said, "Oh, it's okay," I think Huang would do it. Yeah.
to follow the Jedi path.
He's not going to make that decision for her right there, He's like more respectful to Harris. So totally, he's like, if Hera gives the green light, he'll probably be like, okay, I'll train you since your mom said it's okay. Because it's basically like becoming a Jedi. He'd have to swear off his attachment to his mom and devote his whole life to the cause.
Unless she trained him as a gray Jedi and give him a little bit of balance there, but we're not writing the series, so it won't happen. We'll get whatever mediocrity they put out.
I just hope the season ends with at least Jason like practicing with the training droid or whatever, and he's like really good off the bat or something. Not really good, but at least pretty solid. And Hu Yang's like, wow, impressive or something. You know what I mean? That would be cool. Ahsoka the White. Call me. Look to my coming on the third light.
The third day.
Look to the east and you'll see
there's really
me.
3 days. Oh my god! And there's really 3 days on the other. Oh my gosh! To my coming on the third day, I will be riding in a space whale. To my coming.
Anywho, Ahsoka picks up the map, and she uses her Force abilities to look into the past, what happened, and she knows what happened. And then I think Pilot Carson comes in, saying there's a fleet coming their way, and he doesn't think they're there to help. They're caught.
Yeah, you guys
it's all
got
over.
caught
Now
playing hooky.
it's all over. Our cover is
You guys don't have a
blown
hall
away.
pass. You got caught.
Yeah, we got caught. Yeah, we got caught. It's all over now. We're done for.
Scatter!
Our cover is blown away.
It's the Popo. It's the 5-0. Run! I don't know any of them. I was just vacationing on this planet. I heard it had some great fishing spots.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
And let's see here. And she looks up in the sky, and you see the space whales or the Purgle. however you want to call them. So back in the Ghost ship. Oh, that's a bad scene right there. There you go. So Hera is, and I think Huang, or no, not Huang. Pilot Carson or Captain Carson is talking to Senator Organa, saying there's nothing more she can do. Her and Ahsoka have to return to her Coruscant with the fleet. Hera says Ahsoka will disagree with that, and she herself doesn't agree with that. And Senator Organa says the committee is deciding whether Hera's rank will be stripped. That's not good. And that you're gonna need Ahsoka's testimony to help you, and it apologizes to Ahsoka. So she, ain't looking good for Hera. So she's went AWOL. She is risking her rank of being general being stripped. That ain't good. So she's in big trouble here.
At least someone's doing it. New Republic just want to sit on their hands while
because I
Thrawn
think they're
returns.
kind of overreacting here. It's like, by the way they're acting, it's like Hera took like half the fleet on a joyride or something.
Right. Yeah.
And she only took like 2 freighters and 3 X-Wings. And one of the freighters is Ahsoka, so it's not even military.
Right. As she said it, like she was like earlier, where she was saying to Wang, like she was like thinking like, are we just chasing ghosts here? So she's definitely like, re-questioning her decision, but can't go back once you made that decision, and definitely had to deal with the consequences with that. And right here, she might be dealing with the consequences with that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. It sucks. She's just helping out she's helping her friends, really.
Yep. Silly New Republic doing New Republic things.
I know it.
Ahsoka the White.
So Ahsoka comes in saying she knows where where Sabine, what happened to Sabine, and she knows how to follow her. Like, really, how? Because you don't have a hyperspace ring. They do.
Up.
They're gone. There's no way to follow them. So how exactly you're gonna follow them? We'll get that in a minute. In a minute. So Hera's so we get that in a minute.
Where's your staff?
Right here.
I told you to take the wizard's staff.
So, so Ahsoka and Hera are going after the space whales, the Purgle.
Yep.
And Hera says she does not like this plan. And Ahsoka, I think she implies that it's the only way, really. And apparently, let's see if I can get it here. Aha. Apparently, the New Republic is approaching planet Cetos, and Hera tells Captain Carson, the pilot, to delay them. How are you supposed to delay a whole freaking big fleet?
Hopefully he can juggle. Put on a little show. Juggling. All right, that lasted about 2 seconds. All right, what else you got? Oh, shit. Crap.
So
Tell them a long story. Long time ago in a galaxy.
Yeah.
let's see if I can get it here.
I like the bug
And
alien guy. He looks pretty good. I don't know
trying to
what
get
the
the
species is
pilot.
called.
There you go. So Captain Carson is trying to delay the New Republic fleet going into the planet Cetos. We're trying his best, really. He's very like, do I really have to do this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I really don't want to do this, but I have to do it anyway. It's like, I really don't want to do this. It's like, I'm going against the Republic. I really don't want to do this. So he kind of like relents at the end and tells, like, what Hera is up to.
It's like, I could tell you, but I don't know if you would believe me. And he tells her anyway.
Tells her anyway. Like, good job stopping the fleet.
Oh, just the sheer sense of disbelief stuns her enough to give them minutes to do what they need to do. Where Ahsoka mind melds with a star whale and asks to hitch a ride to another galaxy.
Yeah, we're gonna hang out in your mouth for a little while. Is that cool?
So we go like, don't skip ahead too much. We'll get into that. So Jason says his mother Hera is Ahsoka goes talk to the space whales. Apparently, yes. And she's using the Force. Ahsoka's using the Force right here to communicate with the space whales, the Pargirls. Which is interesting.
Ezra can do it. So can Ahsoka. Talk to the whales.
Oh, I forgot. When Jason's like asking his mother, is Ahsoka's talking to the space whales. Jason says that Hera told stories how the space whales took away Ezra and the bad guys, and that they saved them. Well, the space whales saved them. And is questioning whether the space whales are going to take Ahsoka to Ezra is, and Hera hopes so. And right here, Ahsoka's communicating with the space whale while using the Force. So that's interesting. And apparently it works because the space whale is opening its mouth to let them in. Just it doesn't give you the feel of Pinocchio somewhat.
In Monstro.
Yeah.
There have been a funny references when they're inside it. There's like a little Pinocchio like hanging on the windshield.
What do space whales? What do space whales eat? Space plankton.
Yeah, that's because they have the
Probably.
They have the whale teeth. Yeah. Those like brushes. Yeah. Space plankton. That's great. And you would need a lot of it for a whole herd of them things. Yeah. Jesus.
Because there's a whole food chain in a vacuum of space that the whales can thrive on that we've never heard of before.
So they go inside the mouth. The whales are going back to space. New Republic or making evasive maneuvers to not be in the way of the space whales. And they're like about to take off.
Or for anybody who's seen Farscape, they starburst.
Yeah.
because this is just yet another thing that they ape from another series to me.
No, it's totally original.
So
Totally original, right?
Sarcasm.
Ahsoka's like, not sure they are going,
Oh yeah, she
but
has no
it's
clue.
better going nowhere, I guess, in her mind. And Ahsoka, says we will find him, and Hera says, "Maybe the force be with you," and they take off, and that's the end of the episode right there.
She's on her Joker from Dark Knight. Like, do I look like a girl with a plan? I just do things.
Yeah. So that is episode 5.
Yeah, I really like the Anakin and
Shadow
Ahsoka
Warrior.
stuff, but the Purgle like last 15 minutes not my favorite part. But that's just
All right, we'll get to the comments real quick, and then we're gonna get into episode 6. All right, Rocco says Ahsoka dies on Mortis, where the father balance and the brother the dark side and the sister the light side. Anakin puts the sister's spirit back in her to bring her back, connecting her more to the light side. Possible, yes.
I kind of remember that now. It's like, it's, yeah, it's been a while since I've done my homework for this series. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that the general audience just isn't knowledgeable about. And they're not going out of their way to even make any reference to like, oh, Ahsoka has this connection to the light side, because for casual Star Wars fans, they wouldn't know any of this stuff.
right. Like, give us a 5 to 10 minute little catch up thing showing the important beats that you may or may not cover in the show, so that people have an idea, a frame of reference. But nope, go and watch the other shows.
Definitely.
Your homework for this week is
I think Jason may go with Ezra, or maybe fall to the dark side, sadly. Too early to tell.
Too early to tell, yep.
Rocco, I hope Ezra goes Seth. He connected a lot with Maul. Again, too early to tell.
Yeah.
I was very uncomfortable seeing her without her crown. I wasn't that too uncomfortable about it. Strange, yes, but not uncomfortable. But I want to be. That orange to white color looked weird on Shakti in the Shakti in the Jedi Council from previous content. Also, in my opinion, Ahsoka wearing Cholo shorts.
Yeah, Cholo. Shorts, yeah.
Cholo shorts.
Spanish gangsters.
Maybe. Rocco the Brave. Ahsoka keeps too many secrets. The kid saved you. Effing tell them where you were finding the best. Jedi, subpar Sith.
Right? I'd tell everybody what just happened. Like, yeah, I just had a run-in with Anakin. He looked like he did in the olden days. It was crazy.
Jedi starfighters need astromech droids. Possibly.
Yeah, they do make on the fly repairs. They do a lot of functionality that the pilot just can't do. They're really useful, especially R2. He was the greatest of them all. Then Chopper probably would be second, I guess.
Hello, Revan Reborn. Do you guys think it's possible that Anakin Force Essence could have warned Luke of the chaos to come, so Luke may come help everyone? I don't know.
It would be
that would
cool,
be an amazing
but
scene.
I don't believe we'll see an appearance by Luke in this show. If Favreau was running things, yes.
Oh my gosh, like a scene where you have Luke Skywalker, maybe like they use Sebastian Stan again with the face de-aging thing, and like him and Hayden Christensen have a scene together and they have a chat. That would be amazing. That would make me lose my mind.
It's like, hi, Dad.
Like, yeah, it's not Mark Hamill, but it's still Luke in a way. So yeah. Hi, Dad. Like, that would be interesting.
It could be that actor from the MCU, Sebastian Stan, is it, that played Winter Soldier? Because he looks a lot like a young Mark Hamill.
Yeah, they have like the same chin, same jawline type of thing. It'd be really good. I'd be all for that.
I would too.
I don't want to just see Luke on the sideline during like a huge conflict like this. Like that makes no sense, and it's just like ruining his character again, like they did in the new series. Like,
Yeah.
don't build him back up again just to have him not help.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would love to see Luke Skywalker show up.
For sure, if that happens.
Mhm.
Rock of the Brave. Is it weird if the Jedi Starfighter needs astromech, but no warp drive built in?
Mhm. You
Mm-hmm.
needed those small rings like the
Mhm.
bad guys are using, much bigger version of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I was saying, the astromech droids do so much like self repairs and on the fly, like while
Mhm.
you're flying, they do things like keep the ship going.
Making plotting hyperspace coordinates so much easier.
Yeah. And like in Phantom Menace, R2 was able to get the deflector shields back on when they like malfunctioned.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah. Fight off little bug droids and things with their little shock.
Bug choice. Ho Wang will totally make some joke about Jason exceeding Sabine
so
in
down.
every way by a lot. That could be possible.
I would love a scene of that.
Yeah.
Just more shitting on Sabine.
Yeah.
Ahsoka,
needs to be
have
taken
you
down a
given
peg.
any consideration to training young Jason? Just curious.
That would be great.
That'd be great, definitely.
I'd be
Better
so down with that.
better candidate than Sabine, to be honest. Hera's a better merchant marine anyways.
Mhm.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Yeah.
We don't need General Hera. Anakin's first starfighter was capable of light speed. See what happens when you have family.
Was it really? I thought like all the smaller ships needed those accessories because they couldn't make the jumps. That's interesting.
General Hera is like Captain Rex. If it needs doing, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Dude, I want Battle of Endor Rex to show up, man. Right?
Yeah, because apparently Rex was in Return of the Jedi, and he's like one of the rebel soldiers on the moon of Endor with Han Solo and the gang in that fight.
For
The Ewoks.
Forget a ring. They don't have enough power. Do it.
Power.
Where are the power cells for those large engines?
We don't know.
I don't know.
They're in the rings.
Carson's character makes me like him more every time I see him. Bring back Migs Mayfield, please. Pop says, yep, I'm really starting liking Carson more with this episode. Agreed.
Yep.
It's so funny they said they had no source material, but everything they made, I see where they got the story.
Yeah. Because they're cherry picking all the stuff they want without the pesky storylines from the source material. It's like, oh, we'll take a little bit of this, a little bit of that, throw it in a pot, stir, and have our own creation.
It's alive. It's alive.
Please say Purgle. Everyone saying Space Whales just sounds childlike to me for some reason.
Yeah.
Space whales. Space whales.
I just... there's other ways you can say it. Space whale, Purgle, Star whale, however you want to say it. It's the Purgle.
Leviathan,
Leviathan from Farscape, another series that they copied from.
However you want to say it.
Yeah,
like
Purgle's a proper name.
Space whale.
Next episode, they're called
Star whale.
Referred to as star whales.
You can call it whatever you like, really.
Yeah.
Purgle absorb Kryptonian dust, and it gives them metahuman powers. LOL, powdered by dust. Gotcha. Yeah, Purgle is the proper name, but in the next episode, they are referred as star whales. Yeah, so star whales, Purgle, space whales, however you want to go around it, really, that's what they are.
Yeah, I think in the Rebel series, they refer to as Purgle. Like the proper name.
And Tarkovsky's Tarkovsky's 2D a cartoon Anakin has a sweet modified Jedi
Mhm.
starfighter.
Okay, so it is modified. So I was like, yeah,
Right.
on regular ones they don't have that capability.
Right, because
It makes sense that
Anakin,
they would give him a special one.
yeah, Anakin was very mechanically inclined. So
Yeah, he was like
anything
the best starfighter in the galaxy too,
yeah,
right? Yeah, and he was
anything he was
mechanically
flying,
inclined.
he was
Mhm.
going to get in there, tune up the engine, hot rod it.
I mean,
He
how
wasn't
old
going
was
to be,
he? He was like 9 when he made C-3PO. Like,
yeah,
dude was a boy genius.
Definitely a boy genius.
But yeah, I could see that. It makes sense.
yeah.
He was good with machines. He was good with flying. He was pretty much like a jack of all trades. Like he could do anything that he needed to do.
All right. Hey guys, don't forget to hit the like button, share the stream out, and like we see here, subscribe. Also, I do have a gaming channel. Here's the link in the chat. I do play video games there. This Friday and Saturday, I'll be continuing, still continuing, and trying to finish Gotham Knights and Hogwarts Legacy this weekend. So check me out on there this weekend. Alrighty, on to episode 6 here. If my mouse can work. All right, let's just get this set up here.
This episode, oh boy.
Let's see here.
We'll try to find positives to talk about.
Yeah, so I will overlook my notes, all the bad stuff I have to say about this, and talk about the
Alrighty.
positive. It won't take very long.
Alrighty. Hi Wade, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
All right, share screen. All right, episode 6, Far, Far Away.
You know the place from Shrek 2? Far, far away.
Right.
That too, yes.
Instead of Hollywood, it's far, far away.
All right, we'll just get my notes real quick. Here we go. So, the space whales, star whales, purgle, however you want to call it, they're traveling within hyperspace with Ahsoka and Huang inside the ship, inside the mouth of the space whale here. Looks really pretty.
Mm-hmm. Because there are apparently organic creatures that can fly and navigate in hyperspace between galaxies, great distances.
It's a good thing they never do a holdo maneuver and crash into a planet or something.
Yeah.
I mean, they don't really have like a directional like thing like we do, but I guess they kind of do because they're
right.
Biological.
Hold on a second.
They know where they're going. They know where they're coming out of the other side of the.
They're force sensitive as well. They can sense where they're headed.
They're where the metachlorians come from. You like harvest them. That's where the metachlorians. That's their origin. We figured it out. Like one day, a Purgo was flying over Tatooine and it died, and it just dropped all its metachlorians on Shmi Skywalker, and then Anakin was made. Ta-da!
And with enough dust, they can travel by folding space. Oh wait, that's another movie. That's another franchise.
Righty. Sorry about that. My laptop wasn't charging. I'm like, why isn't that charging?
Uh-oh.
Oh, that's why. The cable was disconnected. I'm like, oh, I stepped on it and it disconnected on itself. That's why. I had to plug it back in. I hate when I do that. Anywho, so on the Jedi ship, Star Cruiser, whatever you want to call it, Ahsoka recalls Huang telling stories about the space whales or Purgle, back in the Jedi Temple when she was just a youngling. Very interesting. Hellwing's he's like, yes, history of the galaxy, part 1, part 2, part 3. Like, I would like to hear the history of the galaxy here.
It's the Old
Like,
Republic.
please indulge.
Yeah,
Please
it's
indulge.
the Old Republic. I was like, are they going to tell an Old Republic story? I was getting a little excited. I was like, is he going to go into the Old Republic? Like, tell me. And like, Ahsoka even makes a joke like, oh, part 1, that's the best. And that's like a nod to the fans because everybody knows like people love the Old Republic.
Yes, she said the one was the best.
And it is.
And, Wing asks her if she wants to hear a story. And she says, not right now. And Huang says right here, maybe she has a story for him. And Ahsoka says right here that she didn't tell the others about Sabine went with the enemy willingly. He's like, Huang is like, impossible. And, that's troubling. Ahsoka says that she could have ended the war. Sabine could have ended the war with no Thrawn and no war. And that's when Huang says, and no Ezra. Ahsoka says she was fated to make that choice, and there was not enough time to prepare for her to make the right one. I'm like, well, you had to, like, really? Then there was not enough time. He had enough time to prepare, though.
Sounds like cope to me.
When she was still around, really.
Making excuses for her.
And I do agree with what Huang says, that the Force gives you insight, but does not give one all the answers. That I do agree.
Yeah.
It only gives you a little snippet, really, because as the saying goes, the Force is never not the Force. I'm sorry, the future is never set in stone. So I believe that we're going to see, so much because the future's not in stone; it's ever moving.
Mm-hmm.
And Ahsoka's like meaning, Huang's like, perhaps for Sabine, it was the only choice. It was, in her mind, it was the only choice because she didn't want to lose the opportunity to find Ezra and reunite with him. So it was a difficult choice that she had to make. Regardless if it was the right one or not, it was a difficult decision she had to make.
Pretty selfish decision, though.
Yep.
Ezra's, probably great and all. I don't have a point of reference that much, but yeah, it's like him or the entire universe. And he did what he did to save the universe, so he'd probably understand the choice. I don't know.
Yeah.
The needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few.
It all comes back to Spock.
Yeah.
Exactly, dude. One of the best lines ever said because it's so true.
Yeah. Because if we're going to keep aping from other franchises, you might as well ape from the best.
Huang's like saying to Ahsoka, that is your fear. And Ahsoka says here, second thought, tell me one of those stories, your choice. And Huang starts out like, long ago, far, far away, and it cuts off. Like, are you for real? We're not going to hear the story. I want to hear the story. Come on now.
No, we just have to.
Such a tease.
Enough. Yeah, it was just enough for a member berry. Like, hey, remember this? Remember that? Remember when Star Wars was good?
A long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
Hello, Castle. How are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, Castle. What's up? So we go to Sabine in the
It's
cell.
Sabine show now.
Oops.
It's all going to be about Sabine from this point on.
So she's in the cell with cuffs on her hands. Let's see. Baylin comes in.
I love what Balin says. I thought you'd use this time to reflect on how dumb you are.
Sabine says here she was hoping her cell had a view.
Yeah. Like, I was hoping for a room with a view.
And Balin says,
God.
you find your situation confining. Sabine says a bit. And that's when Balin says, I think this could be an opportunity for reflection.
I love that. Like,
Yeah.
think about yourself and what you've done.
And Sabine says, I tried to avoid that. And Balin says, I understand why. But Sabine says, we had a deal. You promised me I could see Ezra again. Balin says nothing. He takes off. And Sabine yells, we had a deal.
So goofy.
She's a mercenary. Did you really think he's going to hold his end of the bargain?
We had an arrangement.
Yet he is still honorable enough to even tell Morgan he's going to uphold his end of the bargain. So that says a lot about his character. He's just such an awesome character.
Really
oh man,
is.
I love the character Balin in the series. Definitely rooting up the
He's
underdogs.
the hero of that story for me. Like 100%. I do not see him as a villain at all.
No. Especially later on in this episode when we get to his motivation, it just makes him even more awesome.
Mm-hmm.
That conversation he has with Hottie later on when we talk about it, is exactly what I wanted from another episode, is like him and Hottie like talking about what they like, their character's motivation and things. Yeah, I love that.
We'll get to that. It's all good in time.
Oh, yeah.
All good in time. So Balin goes to see Morgan and Shin at the threshold of the hyperspace ring. Then Morgan's asking about the prisoner. Balin says she's impatient. Sabine is. And Morgan's asking, did you still mean to follow through on your promise to her? Balin says her focus to Ezra blinds her. Believes she can still be and believes that Sabine can still be of some use to them. And I agree, her desire somewhat can be blinding her to her other surroundings of her deep desire to reunite with Ezra again. With the decision of starting the map to Balin could have dire consequences for the New Republic with Admiral Thrawn returning. So it'll be interesting how this will be played out. Will they find Ezra or they won't? And if they do find Admiral Thrawn, it really could have dire consequences with that. So, the hyperspace rings arrives at the destination. Let me see if I can get a shot here. See here. I can't get a shot of the planet, but right here. But there's the hyperspace ring. Oh, there's the planet right there.
Yep.
Looks really similar to Earth somewhat.
With that
with a
Saturn
ring around it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which we find out is a graveyard for Purgle.
Yep. Littered with their bones.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive at the planet Puradia, I think they said. When Morgan says that's Paradia, the ancient home world of Morgan's ancestors, the Dathomiri, the Night Sisters. Balin here says the Jedi Archives spoke of this place. It was the end of the migration route used by the Star Whales as they traversed the void from one galaxy to another. Morgan says that her people were the first to harness and ride the creatures in the days before time was counted. So that's quite interesting. And Balin says right here, the whales came here to die. Paradia is a graveyard. So okay, it's a graveyard planet.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna see a lot of bones and stuff.
Again, those who have seen Farscape, this is very similar to an episode where the characters in Farscape visit a Leviathan graveyard because it's like floating graveyard of Leviathan bones.
I have to say, I love his hairstyle on him with the beard.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Yeah, isn't this where Morgan says, like, yes, my people even learned to ride the Purgles?
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, so maybe they were trying to take control of the hyperspace lanes. Padawan.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So the golden robot says they're receiving a signal within the planet, and Morgan's like, "Well, let's not keep them waiting." So they go to the planet Paradias and meet 3 Night Sisters. Now, I have to say the Night Sisters and Morgan look very different. Morgan looks more human.
Right.
The Night Sisters don't.
Yeah, the Night Sisters are, their race or species are Dathomirian.
Mm-hmm. Right. So is it this like telling that Morgan is human, but she was raised as a Night Sister?
Right. Or she was like training in their religion, which I don't believe has any basis in canon for as much as I know. I mean, and Rebels and Clone Wars, we've seen Night Sisters before. They are all the same race. They're all Dathomir.
Yeah, even in Fallen Order with Meryl, she looks more like them, just a younger version, but she has all that face stuff going on. And
yeah, red and black. I think Darth Maul, I want to say he was Dathomirian.
Yeah, his people, the Zabraks,
yeah,
they lived on that planet as well. Yeah,
yeah, definitely.
But I love the one Night Sister, Claudia Black from Farscape and from a bunch of video games, Uncharted, Mass Effect.
Yeah,
a bunch. It's so cool that she's in Star Wars, though. I'll admit, when I heard her voice, I'm like, oh, damn, that's pretty cool. So this is one of my favorite things, is to see Claudia Black in some Star Wars, because I love her as an actress. I think she's
she was
fantastic.
also in Stargate SG-1 the last couple of seasons with Ben Browder.
Damn, so she's like making the rounds of all the sci-fi stuff.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah.
So here are the Night Sisters in red garb.
Yep.
The Great Mother right here in the middle says, "Welcome, child of Dathomir. You do our ancestors credit." Morgan thanks the Night Sisters. The Great Mother, you heard our call to you in the dream. Morgan says, your visions guided me across the stars. So apparently the sisters were giving Morgan visions of how to hyperspace to a different galaxy, apparently.
Yeah, or it's like, okay, to get here, you need to go on a fetch quest and find this map ball, or you need to find this thing that will lead you to the temple that has the map ball. Then you need to go elsewhere to find out how to read the map ball, and Yeah, it's like go here to do this to get this thing that will take you elsewhere to get the clues you need to find us.
Right. And Shin says to Baylin, more witches. She's like,
Yeah, yeah.
more witches.
Yeah, I'll go into this when we get to that point.
The Great Mother here says, long we waited for you, and you came as Thrawn promised. Wait, Thrawn, how? How did Thrawn promise?
Well, he knows Morgan, so he I think he knew that she would find a way, or she wouldn't stop looking. That's I'm assuming.
Yeah, Thrawn is.
I didn't watch.
He would be well connected across the Star Wars galaxy. He probably has like backup plans for his backup plans. Like he's a master strategist and tactician, so he'll know. Like, okay, I have plans for this. I have plans for that. Here's plan A, B, C, D, so on and so on.
Morgan is asking, where is Thrawn? The Great Mother says, you shall wait. He is coming. This my sister says right here, looks at Sabine saying that she reeks of Jedi. Like, wait a minute.
How would she know?
How?
Jedi? She has no force sensitive powers. She's nothing. It would make more sense if she's talking about these two, Baylan and Shin, because Baylan was in fact a Jedi, and Shin is
these two reek of Jedi instead.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Shin has shown she's very capable with the Force and with the lightsaber, so Jedi. Baylan admits basically that he does admit that he's a Jedi, so like they would reek of Jedi. That would make more sense.
But no, this one says that the Sabine's reek of Jedi. I think he meant maybe she meant that she reeks of Mandalorian. That would make sense, but Jedi, no.
Yeah, very weird thing.
It's bad writing. It is. It's. When we get to the point where we're sharing our thoughts, I'll talk about that.
Yeah. Have a good night, Castle. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out.
This my sister said that Sabine is dangerous, and the great mother right here says that she will wait in solitude. Okay. And they bring out these
so pointless. They could have just had a guard do this.
See if I get it. Yeah, so they bring out these 3 little golden balls, just like the map, just a little more smaller.
Okay, balls.
And they surrounded Sabine in some kind of like light rope.
So dumb.
And take her downstairs.
This part is so pointless.
To the cell. And Sabine's like yelling, "Hey, we had a deal. Where is Ezra? Where is he?" And Baylan looks like he was struggling in his thoughts about his deal with Sabine. Now,
That's a cool shot. I like that shot.
Cool shot.
I like the cinematography in this.
Howling, and you got the castle thing. It looks good.
So,
and then one of the best things.
So, we go to Baylan and Shin right here. I love this scene right here.
Easily one of the best. I think this is the best scene in the episode for me, honestly. Like, it's so cool what he says.
This one and another scene with Baylan and Shin later on. In this episode where they're talking about what's on that planet. But we'll get to that.
Yeah.
So Shin is like asking, what is it, Master? Baylan says this is a land of dreams and madness. Children's stories come to life. And Shin's like, I don't know such stories. Baylan says, you were not raised in the temple. Stories of this galaxy are considered folk tales, ancient past, long forgotten. Shin says, with good reason, sometimes stories are just stories. Well, yeah, but even stories and folk tales have some truth to them, somewhat.
Showing her like naivete, I think a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
Because
Balin says, yeah. Balin says, when I was a bit older than you are now, I watched everything I knew burned. Shin says the Jedi Temple. Balin says yes, and the head nod. So he saw the Order of 66, just like Kanan did.
Mm-hmm. He witnessed Anakin's fall. He was there.
Yep. Balin says, I couldn't make sense of it at the time. As you get older, look at the history, you realize it's all inevitable. The fall of the Jedi, the rise of the Empire repeats again and again and again. So he's tired of this cycle. Apparently that the Jedi, the Sith, and the Republic are in. He wants to break that cycle.
And it needs to break. He's 100% correct here. That's why I love his character.
It makes me like his character more and more because his motivation, it's almost noble in his pursuit of something more.
Something
than just
more
Jedi
to break out of this rut of a cycle, which is not really easy to break.
Yeah, because it's been going on since like the dawn of time, basically. Like,
yeah, at least
far back as the history books.
Yeah, at least 2,000 or 3,000 years in Star Wars lore, or whatever Disney Star Wars wants to have as lore.
Yeah, and Shin here is wondering, is it our time now? Won't our alliance with Ron finally bring us to power? Balin's like, that sort of power is fleeting. What I seek is the beginning, so I may bring the cycle to an end. And Shin's like, so this beginning is here. Balin's like, if the old stories are true, so you're right, Pop. He wants a new beginning to break this cycle that they're in, which is very difficult. And it ain't gonna be really easy. But I definitely enjoyed the scene with Balin and Shin 100%. Here.
100%. The visuals, the conversation, the acting. This is the top tier for the episode for me.
And then we have
the beam show.
The beam show. It's the beam here. And she is trying to use the Force to
she doesn't have.
She couldn't move a cup.
She is trying to use the Force to bring down the door. And she thinks she's. And for a second right here, you think she's doing it, but no, it's just a giant starship approaching.
Thank God, because if she would have moved it with the Force, I would have been like legitimately mad.
Yeah, I was like,
you're gonna jump over moving a cup to breaking a metal door?
Yeah, it was a Force fake out. It's like, is she?
Force fake out, huh?
Yeah.
So like, here comes the starship. And the starship seems.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's not.
Yeah, it's like a star destroyer that looks like it's had better days.
Better days. Look.
Yeah. Apparently, all that damage is from the final battle of Rebels. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Plus the whales, the Purgle also wrapped their tentacles around it and probably damaged some of the plating.
Yeah. So yeah, it looks like still functional, but looks beating up at the same time. Star Destroyer. Well, I call it Starship, Star Destroyer. Same, somewhat same thing. I love
Star Destroyer. It's always one of my favorite ships, and it's always cool to see one.
And watch the scenes with the Star Destroyer. You'll notice little notches on each side. That's probably how it'll mate up to the hyperspace ring.
That's what I'm thinking, because that's why it's that big. They're gonna hook up the Star Destroyer and ride it back through the the hyperspace portal.
Because you have Thrawn, you have Thrawn's crew, you'll have more stuff as we get along in this episode.
Yep.
Definitely. So they're on the way to meet Admiral Thrawn, and you'll see. Look how many clone soldiers there are. But if you really look, really look closely, it looks like, if I can get more of a close up look, there's gold plating on them.
Enoch.
Mm-hmm.
That's his like Captain Enoch.
Yeah, that's Enoch right there.
But yeah, a lot of them have like mismatching plates and like makeshift armor.
Gold plating, like some kind of
and red ribbons and whatnot. They are,
yeah,
like, their armor's piecemeal together.
Look like
mismatched.
Some kind of like gold plating or something like that. Look how dusty they are, old they are.
I think they're all like dead and they've been necromancered back by the Night Sisters, and they're gonna turn to smoke when they die, just like that Mark guy did.
Possibly.
They don't reveal it in this episode, so I'm not spoiling anything. This is just my prediction.
No spoilers, because we're left, like everybody else, we're left with speculation. Because they're not going to say what's going on. We're having to speculate about what could possibly be.
And here's Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I wish I watched Rebels. This scene would mean a lot more to me. Return of the King, people say, and I'm like, I don't know what that means. Ahsoka the White? No.
So here's Grand Admiral Thrawn.
I mean, he's cool. He's not that intimidating, but you know, he's an okay-ish villain, I guess.
Yeah, he did pretty good with the character.
So Thrawn, here's appearance of Grand Admiral Thrawn. We haven't seen him since the end of Star Wars Rebels. He just sounds like the character.
Yeah,
he is the guy that voiced the character in Rebels. That's the same actor.
He is.
Yeah. So that was pretty good casting. They went and got the same guy.
Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because Mads Mikkelsen was in Rogue One as a Jyn Erso's dad. Yeah, Jalen Erso, I think.
Yeah.
Jalen Erso. But yeah, they had the same last name, so I can understand the mix-up.
Yep.
Thrawn says right here, what was first just a dream has become a frightening reality for those who may oppose us. Great mothers, I salute you, like the Night Sisters. Thrawn says, soon we shall all escape this exile, thanks to the efforts of Morgan. Morgan bows. I am ever your servant, Grand Admiral. Thrawn says, this is Enoch, the guy with the gold plate. Let's see if I can get it,
yeah, the gold face mask.
Let's see if I can get
his captain, second in
command.
Can't,
he's right
he
there.
Looks cool, though. I like his mask. He looks like a Roman centurion or something. He looks cool.
He introduces Enoch, the captain of his guard. The soldier with a golden plate.
Captain Frowny Face.
I just hope he's better than Captain Phasma, am I right?
Yeah.
He shall begin the cargo transfer as per my agreement with the Great Mothers. Cargo transfer.
Right.
Of what kind, I wonder?
We'll get into that at the end when we share our thoughts. Because it is certainly open to speculation on where they're going to take everything.
All right, there. That's a good scene right there. Morgan says, I have seen the catacombs. It will take some time, at least 3 rotations.
3 days, yep. For me, at the dawn of the first light on the 3rd day. I'm sorry, it's just right there.
No, it's there. It's certainly there. It's like
I didn't even notice the 3 days thing when I was making the Ahsoka the White jokes, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm looking forward to it.
Thrawn says an acceptable time frame, so he's not really bothered by it.
Yeah.
Great Mother says they have brought a prisoner, which is Sabine. And Thrawn's like, you haven't spoke of this. One of the Night Sisters says, we did not see it. It is a loose thread. Thrawn says, well, speak to me of this loose thread. And Balin right here says, I brought the prisoner. I felt she could be some use to us. And Thrawn asks who Balin is. Morgan says they're mercenaries. Balin, Skull, and his apprentice Shin Hati.
Hati. Hottie.
Okay.
She's a hottie.
Yeah.
That's how I remember it.
Thrawn then says you must be General Balin Skull of the Jedi Order. Oh, so he has heard Balin before. That's interesting.
Yeah, I would expect it because Thrawn's been around for some time, probably as long as Grand Moff Tarkin, if not longer. So, except he's probably been more influential and more of a behind-the-scenes guy.
Balin says to Thrawn that he parted ways with the Jedi Order long ago, and Thrawn says he wouldn't be the first. Ooh. Morgan says the prisoner is Sabine Wren. Thrawn says now there's a familiar name. It says you're quite right. She'll be the great use to us. And Sabine is taken to Admiral Thrawn to be, I guess, interrogated. But I like the look of Admiral Thrawn here, especially the red eyes.
My favorite thing in the episode that he says is what he says to Sabine. Like when he talks to her. I don't know if we're at that part just yet.
We're getting there.
Okay, yeah, I'll wait for that.
But yeah, he's a little bit heavy set in this scene.
Yeah.
But I guess you can you can say time has this long stretch of time has passed. I guess you can say he has aged somewhat.
Yeah, those space crabs are very fattening. We'll get to them too.
Okay.
Space crabs.
Oh goodness. And I see we have lost somebody on the panel, by the way.
Yeah, we did. Positive.
Candor.
Hope they come back.
Positive Candor
might have had
took
to
off.
take off.
You might have to take off, or might have, I don't know, lost connection or fell asleep. Thank you for coming, Positive Candor. We'll see you soon.
So yeah, is he talking to Sabine here, or is he still talking
I think
to Morgan and them?
No, he's talking to Sabine here.
Okay, yeah, this is the scene where he's just like, you realize, like, even as the bad guy, he's like, you risked the entire universe for your choice. Like, just another person scolding her and telling her, like, what were you thinking?
So, Thrawn here
saying, you're so stupid.
Right.
Thrawn here saying, what a delight it is after so long to see a familiar face.
Yep.
I understand it is you I have to thank for my escape from my exile. And she just doesn't care. Sabine doesn't care. She's like, where is Ezra? Thrawn's like, yes, the desire to be reunited with your long lost friend, how that singular focus will reshape our galaxy. So he's literally thanking her because of her very singular focus to find Ezra would mean getting his escape from this wasteland of the planet. And taking a incredible risk of that, too, with that decision.
The fact that she's not bothered by it really bugs me. And she's
she doesn't care.
Commanding...
She wants to get to her goal. She wants to get to her goal to reunite with Ezra. Even though if that does really mean that Admiral, gets back to their galaxy. I guess in her mind, they'll deal with it later.
Yep.
And Sabine doesn't care, and she's just just answer the question. Just all she wants to hear. And Thrawn's like, there's no need for hostility. I am aware of your agreement with Balin Skull. I intend to honor it. You have provisions, amount, and our latest intel of Ezra Bridges' whereabouts. And Sabine's like, really? So you're just gonna let me walk out of here?
Yep.
Apparently so.
She doesn't find that suspect at all.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a reason to it. I just don't think Thrawn is intimidated by Ezra at all. Like, he knows where he is. He knows he's on the planet, but Ezra is just simply not a threat to Thrawn at this point.
No. Thrawn's like, you help my cause, now I shall help yours. You should know that once my starship departs, you'll be stranded here forever.
That's nice of him.
And it's also quite possible your friend is dead. Well, gee.
Yeah.
What a good bad guy.
Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care enough to keep track of Ezra. He probably doesn't care to know whether Ezra is alive or dead.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra is simply insignificant to Thrawn and his plans.
But Sabine's like, if you survived to Thrawn, I'm sure he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
and I guess you kind of grind Thrawn's gears with that just a little bit.
Mm-hmm. But again, Thrawn simply not caring. It's like, oh, you're trying to get a jab at me.
Yeah.
You're insignificant.
And he's like, he says to her face to get back at her, you gamble the fate of your galaxy on that belief. And she's like, you wouldn't understand. Thrawn's like, perhaps not. Sabine's like, I'd rather not waste any more time. What kind of ride you got around here? And we're introduced to this creature called the Howler. Looks like a wolf to me.
Space dog.
Space dog.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a bat, like a big bat she would fly around when they first came out. The face with the wings.
A bat? That would be too easy to fly around. That would be too easy.
It's already pretty easy as it is. So, I mean, she finds it in like an hour. So.
Easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Barely an inconvenience for sure. Like on one canteen of water on a whole planet, she finds it. But yeah.
Too easy. You have to ride on the ground, not in the air.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently Enoch here says to her, be warned, wanderers are in this wasteland and prey upon another for survival. Here are your weapons, and gives her back her lightsaber and it says, die well. Well, that ain't. Well, thanks for the vote of confidence there.
Yeah, thanks for the pep talk.
And honestly, though, they gave her way so much. Like, she should be very thankful. They gave her all her weapons back, her armor, a ride, water, like some information on where to look. Like, they're very nice to her.
Maybe a little bit too nice, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
again, with Thrawn's plans and whatnot, it's just he doesn't care one way or the other.
Mm-hmm.
You'd think all this time in exile he'd wise
doesn't care. ain't that worried.
He's literally there because of Ezra.
So
I'd be pretty like that'd be my sole focus while I'm there. Finding the guy that trapped me there.
So Shin says to Baylan that she's Sabine's on a fool's errand. Thrawn says, indeed, you may follow her at your own pace. Baylan says, yes, Grand Admiral. Shin looks to Baylan. I thought you were going to honor your agreement. Thrawn says, but he shall. Sabine Wren will have opportunity of finding Ezra Bridger just as promised. And if she does, you and Baylan will destroy them both. So seems like to me he knows where Ezra is, but doesn't really bothered by it. Doesn't care, like you said, Pop.
Mm-hmm.
So Baylan and Shin are, gonna follow.
What is he? Fucking Dr. Evil? I will leave them in an
Sabine closely behind.
Come on, man. Go ahead. Sorry.
So
he's ridiculous.
So Balin and Shin are going to follow Sabine closely behind. Let's go back to Sabine. She's trying to... I don't know what that gadget is that she has in her hands. Some kind of tracker?
Yeah, tracker sort of thing. Radar, checking the terrain or something.
Mm-hmm.
They've probably even given her like general coordinates, like, yeah, you might try this area or this place.
Right. But all of a sudden, she is surrounded by
Bandits.
red bandits.
She gets protected by plot armor again.
Who shot the tracker out of her hand.
Why? They had the sniper rifle. They could have just shot her. It's so stupid. Why shoot the tracker? Why do they care about the tracker?
Yeah, they shoot the tracker. She's using her skills as a Mandalorian to take him out. Doesn't work. So instead, she has to opt for her lightsaber in the end.
So lucky, man.
Yeah, she doesn't have her Mandalorian helmet, which has like aiming systems and heads-up display that kind of matches her pistols.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, Padawannabe. That's a good tidbit. The
That's
tracking
a
device
good point. Yeah,
was the same one that Han used in Empire Strikes Back. Yeah,
so
that's a good
on the
point,
Tauntaun.
yeah.
I didn't think of that. Good one.
So
That's right.
in this scene, she loses her steed. Her steed takes off. It's like,
Bad doggy.
great.
Bad doggy.
Bad doggy.
She didn't even name it or anything. That it was given to her by the enemy. She expects it to be loyal right off the bat. Okay.
Now she's like, what? Now what am I gonna do now? I guess go on foot. Yep, pretty much. So right here, Balin and Shin are on other two howlers and gonna follow closely behind of Sabine. All right, let's take a pause on that. Let's catch up with the chat here.
Cool triangle door.
Mm-hmm.
I like that shot. There's some good shots. Like
No,
shots.
They did an excellent job with the CGI landscape and background. It's like it's really cool that it looks real.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Ranker Steve, how are you? Wade says Apion flies now.
I fly now.
Padawannabe. I want to talk more about stuff. Or we are. Oh, yay!
Yeah, maybe he thought we were ending it.
Is this? Excuse me. So is the Purgle that Grogu saw in the Mandalorian the one with Ahsoka in it?
Maybe.
I think he was just joking about that.
Maybe they're happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Dueling stories.
LOL. Does anyone else think that Hu Wang has maybe a Sephiroth-inspired type build?
Oh, I do.
Star Wars Fallen Order reference.
Because he definitely seems like an old Republic droid. Like,
right.
Definitely.
He's been around a long time, so that would be
yeah,
like
he
a
said
different
he
model.
was around for 500 years, but I kind of think he's been around a lot longer because
yeah, he could have had his memory wiped or something like they did to
Hey,
C-3PO,
Castle.
you know, and like he could be much older than that or something. I agree with that.
Yeah.
This was how Thrawn was winning before in Rebels. These characters, people tend to make emotional decisions. He anticipated them. Thank you. This way before.
Mm-hmm.
Balin is doing the other half. Is doing the Balin is doing the after of. I told you to go to your room and think about what
Pretty
you've
much,
done.
but in Jedi terms, yeah, it's great.
This seems you can't just accept me to let my friends die moment. Empire moment.
There is a lot of Empire.
Yeah, there's lots of member berries like, oh, remember this and Star Wars, or remember this and Empire.
Mm-hmm. The rings of that planet are all Purgle bones.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. A Purgle graveyard. Seems like the Night Sisters invaded Peridea to take control of the hyperspace lanes. Pretty much. I agree with Pop, not original. Oh, what is that? Is it a giant dead ancestral head floating in space?
I think he's talking about Nowhere from Guardians of the Galaxy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
Yeah, it's like how this series or Star Wars, Disney Star Wars in general, has borrowed ideas from other franchises or other Disney Star Wars shows.
Mm-hmm. Morgan is not the same species.
Yeah.
Morgan is humanoid, nerd, self-deprecation.
Nerd.
She's
Nerd.
human. She's human. I'm
Yeah.
definitely thinking she was raised as the culture of the Night Sisters. Those Night Sisters look very good, in my opinion. Very Clone Wars. Agreed.
Yep.
Agreed. Makeup and costumes on point. Definitely agree with you there.
Mm-hmm.
But Force magic could corrupt your body like the Sith. I believe they mentioned that Morgan is not the race at some point somewhere, though. No, it's obvious to see she's human. She was just raised in their culture. She's not really born as a Night Sister,
Right.
per se.
She's not Dathomirian. It's like,
No.
since Morgan showed up in some of the earlier episodes, fans all over have like been pointing that out. I was like, hold on a moment. She's not Dathomirian.
Nope. Thrawn promised the sisters a way off the planet to the new galaxy.
Which leads to some thoughts I have afterwards.
This old man has to head to bed. Have a great night, Owl. Have a good night, Castle.
Yep.
Night, Castle. Thanks for hanging out. The sisters can sense the aura of the light side. This is old lore. Balin and Shin do not have light side energy.
Wouldn't Balin have a little bit, at least?
They're mercenary, so a bit of light, bit of dark, really, really gray area. The sense of Jedi coming. The Night Sisters, definitely, yeah.
See, I could believe that more than Sabine. Anything other than Sabine reeking of Jedi.
That's
cool.
It would make sense if Sabine was a Jedi or even Force sensitive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Someone smart wrote that.
Those orbs look like they are made of bone. They should have had a green beam. Duh. Balin is huge in his costume. This man is in shape, not fat. Thrawn. Oh my goodness.
And Thrawn's pretty tall. But there's that shot. He's taller than Thrawn. Like Balin, like literally towers over everybody in scenes.
He's
He's imposing.
Very masculine dude. Very handsome too.
Like I always like Ray Stevenson.
Thrawn,
wow.
like hung out at the local McDonald's and pizza places.
Oh yeah.
Okay, hold on. Like, it's been a number of
years. Crabs. I'm telling you,
it's been a number of years since we've seen Ezra and Thrawn. So yes, there's going to be age to them.
Yeah. As you're
so
old,
yes, Thrawn has put a little.
Your metabolism slows down.
Thrawn has put on a little weight with the local cuisine. Apparently, it happens.
Enjoying the pizza, hot dogs, and hamburgers.
I want a large Big Mac combo with the Coke and the fries
and a Diet Coke.
At once, yeah, and a Diet Coke at once, and a Happy Meal with a toy.
Yeah,
Enoch, do you want anything?
If Balin is needed, I heard fans would like Gerard Butler. Looks good to me.
Yeah, I could buy that.
Maybe. He's a imposing character. Definitely is.
He really is.
I bet Balin is a tad younger than Obi-Wan.
He could very well be.
Maybe just a tad, yeah. Since the Sith Wars, then the Jedi made their current rules, right? There is no controlled research study on how Force sensitive you have to be to actually manipulate the Force. I think you mean use the Force, not manipulate.
What about Metachlorian count?
Yeah.
Yoda's Metachlorians are the highest.
Love the aftermarket parts of Destroyer.
Yeah.
She is going to have a ton of chat to catch up with. I'm catching up.
Mm-hmm.
Gold press Latinum. Sorry.
Latinum.
To fix the armor.
Star Trek reference.
I don't really watch Star Trek, so I wouldn't know. Thrawn is more poised than Tarkin.
And Tarkin was a beast.
What's in the catacombs? The golden sphere map.
Yeah, and there's those coffins.
Yeah.
That they're moving, the shipment that they're moving. We don't know what's in them yet.
I didn't even notice we lost a panelist. I'm hooked. I think Positive Cantor went to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Or possibly more Night Sister wishes in cryo sleep containers. We can only speculate at this point.
Yeah, I
It'd be
will
cool if it was a
share
bunch of
some.
Zabraks, like Darth Maul's people or something.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. Thrawn
Bunch of
to
Savage
Sabine.
oppresses.
Do you remember that your Jedi friend met his demise and I was winning the battle? Up to a point. Up to a point. Thrawn tells Sabine his ship is only way home.
Yep.
Not at this point, no.
Yeah, didn't he tell her like, my ship's gonna leave in 3 days, whether you're,
yeah,
you know,
yeah. He
you're
did
back
say
here or
it's
not.
like if you got to be back here in 3 days, or we'll just leave you behind to die on this world.
Yeah, I'm the only way off. Yeah.
The tracker device is the same one Han used to find Luke and Empire. Oh,
That's
I didn't know that.
That's a good
Great chat, Padawan. That because
Oh, thank you for noticing that, Padawan. I did not notice that.
More member berries.
Well, same type.
Yeah.
Howdy, Ranker Steve. How are you?
Now, if she had to take that wolf and like chop open it and like live it, get warmth inside, that would have been like, okay, you're going way too into Empire Strikes Back now.
That sound is so recognizable. Hey, right there, Ranker Steve. I can't even say how a white girl moves the beam, pulls on the Fury Hound. Do you feel bad? Good. She missed my mostly dead comment. It was a good joke.
Oh, like what's in the catacombs?
The more they
mostly dead.
Yeah, the more they keep with the member berries, eventually we're going to see like Sabine wander around the desert and come across this lone castle off in the sandy distance. Like, oh, this doesn't look good.
Yeah, it's a
reference to Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
and Jabba the Hutt's palace.
Yeah,
and there's a band in there. And...
yeah.
Oh, that's the cantina. But yeah.
Yep. So back to the show here. So Baylan and Shin.
So much fun.
we are. So the doorway looks like some kind of like arrowhead or something like that.
Yeah, it looks cool. I like the design.
Pretty cool architecture.
Mm-hmm. So Baylan and Shin are on 2 howlers and they're gonna go follow Sabine. I think the overall goal is to find where Ezra is. Even with and the enemy pretty much agrees with that.
And these 2 poor pawns just thrown to the wolves with wolves. And yeah, we find out that they're expendable.
Yeah. Enoch says, the mercenaries have departed. Thrawn says, good. Prepare 2 attack squads. Wait for Lord Baylan's signal. And Morgan's like, should we not send more troops to support them? And he's like, Thrawn says, during the exile, our numbers have dwindled. So no, 2 squads will suffice. Our primary objective is to escape this galaxy. It matters not whether Sabine and Ezra are killed or stranded here. The same can be said for the 2 mercenaries. So the mercenaries are just pawns, really.
Yep.
Yeah, Thrawn is
expendable throwaways. Oh yeah. I can get rid of them also while I get rid of the Sabine and Ezra.
No, he might like to keep Baylan and Shin around, but they're not really necessary to his plans.
Yep.
What plans we don't know.
I mean, this is all open to speculation. We're all fans and we're all speculating on this, that, and the other thing.
Mm-hmm. Back to Sabine. Sabine yells at the howler here, saying, You abandoned me. I should have known you were a coward. Like, woof.
Bad doggy. Bad doggy.
Bad doggy.
They have literally no relationship at all. Like 5 seconds. This would make sense if she was it was like her trusted steed and they knew each other. I would totally be on board with this scene. But it's just so out of nowhere and it's.
Hey Tim.
Know. What's up, Tim? Her being mean to the dog. Like she's even mean to the wolf.
Mm-hmm. she's telling the steed to go away, but the steed keeps coming back.
Should have just left her there. Like, fine, you walk through this wasteland alone. I'll keep the canteen of water and a quick way to get places. You do you.
And she's like, okay, fine, I'll give you another chance, but better not bail on me this time. So he's like warning the doggy not abandon me again when things get tough. It's like, well, this is your world, and I guess the howler, the doggy, is trying to help her.
Mm-hmm.
So they're on their way, and the dog stops to get a drink, and he's sniffing this rock, looks at it, and then all of a sudden, poof! This rock reveals this tiny little creature. Let's see if I can.
Space crabs.
Space crabs.
Space turtle, whatever you want to call it. It's a space
Let's see if I can
crab
get
turtle thing. Wearing clothes. Freaking Geppetto. Another Pinocchio reference.
A coward and a half shell.
Coward and a half shell.
Oh, damn.
Well, they hide. They're not brave.
I think the shell creature is a toti. I think toti. I think this is what it calls. This creature's called a toti. I might be wrong with that, but whatever. Yeah, it has a little rock shell on the back. It's thoroughly clothed.
The clothes. So ridiculous.
Thoroughly clothed. And just the toti creature is really nervous with the doggy, and seems like telling the creature, "I won't hurt you. You're okay."
While pointing a gun at it.
While pointing a gun at it, yes.
I'm perfectly harmless.
Finally puts the gun down. It's like, oh, I should have thought of that earlier. Yeah. Why are you afraid of this thing?
And she's Sabine's reassuring the toti creature that she needs no harm. The toti creature sees the armor symbol on her right
the rebel
shoulder.
Insignia, yeah.
And oopsies. And reveals a pendant necklace. The toti creature reveals a pendant necklace with the same symbol on it. I'm like, oh, okay, so we're on to something here.
Yeah, it's saying the rebellion symbol before.
Yes. And Sabine's like, you must know Ezra. Please, did you know Ezra? He's my friend. I think the creature implies yes in his negative tongue language. And it seems like, yes, you know him. You've seen him. And the toti creature leads the way, and Sabine follows. Now, Balin and Shin are on her trail, and see that the devastation that she took out the bandits. And Shin's like, do you know the one she seeks so desperately? Balin says, Bridger? No, he's too young. Comes from a breed of Bokalin Jedi training in the wild after the temple fell. So I guess he's saying that he's a rogue Jedi that trained in the wild, I guess.
Yeah, he doesn't have the experience or the training to do that.
And she's like, Shin is like me. Balin says no. He trained her to be no. He said no. She was trained. Ezra was trained as a Jedi. He trained her to be something more. Yeah.
Gray Jedi. Oh, that'd be sick.
Mm-hmm.
And Shin's asking her master, do you miss it? The order. And he says, I miss the idea of it, but not the truth. The weakness. There was no future there. I guess to a point, really, yeah. Um, and Shin is like telling her master, and you clearly see one here in this wasteland. And Balin says, I see what once was the great witch kingdom of Dathomiri. The existence of the great mothers confirms this.
Mm-hmm.
Shin
And this,
says, they seem eager to leave this place. Maybe we should too. Balin says, perhaps they flee a power greater than their own. Something calls to me. Can you hear it? Something stirs here. Can't you see it? So there's maybe like a reason why everyone wants to get off this wasteland. Maybe there's like some kind of something more powerful that we're not seeing in this wasteland of the planet.
right. Which is cool because this does relate to their previous conversation about wanting to find something other than Jedi and Sith. So yeah, Balin's wanting something more, and this is where he tells Shin that he's sensing that power,
but
something that might even scare the Night Sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which again is, to me, is another Tolkien reference because the dwarves of Moria dug too deep and found something that destroyed them.
Yeah.
The
So
Night
instead of a
Sisters-
Balrog, they could
Yeah.
have like an ancient Sith monster from the old Republic days. Because there was literally monsters of pure dark side that like existed
Mhm.
in the olden days. So there could be something like that underground, very similar to a Balrog, but they won't.
Yeah.
And then
the Night Sisters.
Ahsoka
yeah.
the White shows up. You shall not pass. Oh, I will die.
So-
I will just die.
Shin is still a Padawan here, so she can't really sense it, but Balin can,
Mhm.
and she says she sees bandits. The same bandits that Sabine took down earlier, but different other bandits, really, not the same ones exactly. Shin's ready to fight. Balin says there's no need for bloodshed. The enemy, our enemy, is our friend for now. So the bandits are just as usable as they are to Admiral Thrawn.
Right.
Like, okay, everyone's using someone. Jeez.
Balin's such a badass here too. He's just
Yeah,
like, I'm not worried. I
and
know they're
his-
over there
yeah.
looking at us. I know.
It's interesting because, and to Balin in his own way, he doesn't really care that Thrawn sees him as just a tool to be used. Balin has his own agenda.
Exactly. This makes him so interesting. He's not just a henchman.
Yeah.
You know, what is my bidding, my master? What do you want me to do? He actually, like you said, he has his own plans, motivations.
Not just a mercenary for hire wanting the most amount of money for the job.
I'm
Like
so glad they wrote him like that.
Yeah, I've got a purpose here. I've got an agenda all my own.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
These guys
So
are wearing
back
like
to,
samurai Ronin armor because it's more of
Mhm.
like the samurai influence.
Yeah. So back to Sabine. We're leading to this little Toti village. See all the Totis and little houses. It looks very cute, very interesting. And she is, finally reunited with
She's done a good job hiding out in the open, in the wide open
Right.
field.
with Urza.
Oh, and the most underwhelming reunion ever. Like, she should have ran over to him in like an explosion of emotion and excitement and hugged him right away. But we get like this stale, emotionless.
Right.
Oh, hey, you.
It was kind of awkward, really.
It was.
It
and it's like,
was.
they should have like embraced each other like a true. I haven't seen you in forever. I thought I'd never see you again. vibe.
This really should have been a powerful emotional moment for both of them because they've been at least 5-10 years at least 10 years separated, but this is such underwhelming. Yeah, it's a whole decade, a whole 10 years at least.
Man, if I saw a friend I hadn't seen after 10 years who I never thought I'd see again, I would
Yeah,
I would have a much
this
better
just
reaction.
goes back to how badly written the series
Yeah,
is.
they
and
just want her to be
underwhelming.
emotionless. Like it's like emotions are good in acting. They make you care about the character more. She doesn't need to be like a
Underwhelming
weepy little
writing.
soft person, but like having a brief moment of weakness and showing like how happy you are, some tears,
Yep.
something.
Underwhelming writing, underwhelming direction.
Yeah. So yeah, I agree with you. Should this been more like a more emotional reunion? It was just awkward, really. Ezra says, "I knew I could count on you. Took you long enough." And Sabine's, "Well, you didn't exactly tell any of us where you were going." Ezra says, "That's because I didn't know where I was going." True enough.
Oh, it was totally emotionless.
Sabine's like, typical. Always a plan, but never a good one. Yay! As Ezra says, hey, it worked, didn't it? Didn't it? He's like questioning if it did work or not. And Sabine says it worked. And Ezra says, I see my friends found you, the Toti shell creatures. And Sabine says, yeah, your very own band of rebels. I guess, to a point. And Ezra has like so many questions, like you're writing a Howler, the doggy. How that happened. In fact, how did you find me? How did you get here? And Sabine, doesn't want to talk about that. Like, at least not right now. And Ezra is like, it's like, Sabine, really? And Sabine's like, I just want to be happy that I found you. After all this time, can I have that? And Ezra's like, of course. Come on. We never stay in one place for very long. Let's help them pack. Thanks for coming. I can't wait to go home. So he's waiting to go home after all this time. But of course, Sabine is not really telling him they can't really go home yet as to why she's not telling her as to why just yet. Which she really should have.
Kind of on a timeline. Kind of on a time.
Yeah, she really should have tell him like, hey, this is what is going on. Everything's on is at stake here right now. We can't really go home yet, but she just want to tell him that because she wants to bask in bask in his presence, reuniting with him. I get that, but isn't this more important?
It's so selfish again. She's like, I deserve to just have this moment with you. It's like, oh my god. like when you do tell him, he's gonna be like, okay, so you did this and you didn't tell me right away. Like, what is wrong with you?
Right.
I'm just gonna be even more mad at you now. Like, boy, oh boy.
I do like that shot. That's cool how they have the Star Destroyer kind of perched there right at that top of the building.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where the tide come out, they have that little hangar bay open. It's cool.
Plus, this is a good shot because you get to see the notches and the side.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that's accidental.
It's the top of the communication.
No, on the side of the ship, lower.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. See the notch?
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah.
Right along the edge, the right edge of the Star Destroyer. Mm-hmm. That could be where they match up with the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, it has definitely aged, especially with the battle damage with the portals. Like the communication tower is like missing some stuff right over here. You get over here too.
Mm-hmm.
He must have been using it on like low power or something, since there's probably no like way to like refuel or whatever. So for 10 years, he probably was just like the bare minimum of power, like. There's no way
I don't like how they made the ships all needing fuel.
Yep,
with Disney Star Wars. It's like when you've got a reactor, you're generating power. It's not like, oh, we got to stop at the 7-Eleven and fuel up.
Yeah. We'll just wait for them to run out of gas.
Possible they were just resting the engine all this time and it just fired it back up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like he barely ever flew it. Like when he didn't need to, he wasn't going to waste any exit because that's like the only way it could really last for 10 whole years
Yeah.
Yeah.
Plus,
without ever
plus
going
just,
to a star
yeah,
space or something. Yeah,
just drifting in space. You don't need to
exactly. Yeah, so
really
he's
use
probably.
the engines. You can use
Mhm.
thrusters to maintain your orbit or whatnot.
Yeah, so yeah, Thawne's probably got the air on real low because it's like the crew's probably dead
Mm-hmm.
and they're probably
Right.
ghosts and stuff, and then probably just him and
Ghosts.
Enoch, but we don't know that for sure.
We don't know. Which we're
But
again, we're all
fun to
speculating.
speculate.
It's like
Yeah.
Yep.
the show's not telling us anything.
Not yet.
Not yet. We have what, 2 episodes left?
2 episodes left. So Thrawn approaches the Night Sisters, saying, "Great mothers, you wish to speak to me." The Great Mother right here says, "The thread of fate has spoken to us. Another comes, a Jedi, but for the ride feed travelers." So there's another Jedi coming.
And I like how they
Yep.
kind of act like the Fate sisters from like Hercules or something, where they like control like the
Mhm.
threads of fate and whatever, and they can see the future, like true seers.
Yeah.
And Thrawn's like, "Well, that is unwelcome news. Could it be the recently dead Ahsoka?" Moken's like, "Impossible. I thought it was beyond you to underestimate a Jedi.
Yep.
After all death and resurrection are common deceptions played out by both Night Sisters and Jedi." Morgan says, "Balin assured me of her death." Thrawn's like, "Yet he was once a Jedi, so he must regard him as flawed. Now we shall consider Ahsoka alive until we know otherwise, and we shall prepare accordingly. I want her to know her background, history, homeworld, her master, everything." So he wants to know everything about Ahsoka from Morgan's perspective and knowledge that she knows of Ahsoka. Ain't gonna look good. Morgan, says, "Yes, Grand Admiral." Thrawn says, "If there's a star whale approaching Perdia, the planet Perdia, to destroy it with prejudice." And he turns to the Night Sister saying, "Great mothers, I shall once again require the aid of your dark magic." And
Mhm.
the grandmother
Once again.
says, "Destiny demands it, Grand Admiral." And that's the end of the episode. So, yeah, it ain't look too good with
Mhm.
with Ahsoka and Sabine and Ezra right now. Yeah. So Thrawn wants to know everything about Ahsoka. Yeah, it doesn't look too good for our heroes.
That's
Find
okay.
out
Ahsoka
next
will
week
come
on Dragon
flying out of the east to save the day.
on the third day, the light of the
Yeah.
third day.
Well, yeah. Yep. So that's the end of the episode. Episode 6, Far, Far Away. And just like we said, there's two more episodes left, and that's the season. All right, let's get back to the chat here. Those light troopers look awesome. I think Balin should be looking for the first Jedi or Sith temple. This could be the power he seeks. Information is power in this type of thought. Agreed.
Mm-hmm.
Ezra risked his life for the galaxy. Sabine shuts him down all quick. Some respect.
Yeah, this is rather immature writing. Like these characters are in their 30s at least, and they're all acting like teenagers.
Yeah, like from a CW
It's
show
just-
or something.
It's immature
Tim.
writing.
Whoa, blue Elon Musk. Leave Master Splinters off Spring alone.
Yeah, the wolf. We were joking about that. The wolf is like a weird Master Splinter baby.
Mm-hmm. Kind of does a little bit. Sabine always did give Ezra the tough big sister attitude. Yes, she did. But for how long it was, I was expecting a running to Ezra embrace. I was too, but we didn't get that. It was just awkward, really. This poor Krakow wolf just wanted a hermit crab cake.
He really did. He probably doesn't get to eat very much on this desolate world, and that
I
probably
guess
looks
not.
pretty tasty.
Toti were the race of the planet, I guess. I guess so.
Yeah, again.
Blaster.
I don't know.
On
They
the
have
right.
They have a crab tailor too that makes all their little crab clothes.
Yeah.
On the right, pauldron.
God.
Yes, Mando reference of the shoulder armor. Yeah.
Yeah, the rebellion symbol on the pauldron.
Rebellion symbol. Shin Obi-Wan. Trained.
Yeah, Shin greater than Obi-Wan.
Yeah,
well,
I guess.
Before his show, then maybe. But no. Before his show, definitely not.
Yeah.
I guess.
After his show, maybe.
Trained in the idea of, but not in the temple, by the Jedi strict code. Anakin also says in the Clone Wars series that he does not adhere to such Jedi weakness. Create some toys. Why do Balin and Shin not have the coolest lightsaber hilts yet? I like Balin's
it's
hilt.
like a katana or something. Like got like a samurai sword hilt. I didn't really notice what Shin's look like too much, but yeah, Balin's is
never really been
cool.
A close up of Shin's lightsaber. Yeah, if there were Balin and Shin action figures, they would probably sell. Because so far
they made like a Hot Toys one.
I would definitely get one.
Yeah,
especially with the Lothal cat.
Yeah. Yeah, Balin and Shin are so far the two most interesting characters on this show.
Definitely. I'm saying Starforge or Kyber Crystal Massive.
Starforge, we're really going into Knights of the Old Republic then if they do that.
Shin is not a Padawan. She does not have the braid, though Balin is non-traditional. She did have a braid earlier, didn't she?
In previous episodes, we did see a Padawan braid, but she's not Sith or Jedi. They are like gray Jedi.
I think Balin found Shin as a kid during Order 66, possibly, but I also think that Shin is his daughter.
Yeah, I like to think that. I like to believe that theory. I like to see him as father-daughter.
Yeah, and then like that's maybe why he left the Order, is like when Anakin went crazy and started killing the younglings, he's like, shit, my daughter might be next. I gotta hide her, or you know what I mean? Like she wasn't maybe at the age to train, but that's why he took her away and trained her far away, to protect her from Anakin. That's my theory, and I do want her to be his daughter. I think that'd be cool, father-daughter.
Plus, Jedi duo. It also explains how he got really mad when Shin was knocked out in a previous fight by Ahsoka.
And Ahsoka, sorry.
Yeah,
Ahsoka like forced through her against the wall. Yeah.
Force slammed her against one of the hinges. Columns or pylons or whatever, and Balin just kind of got miffed at that and started wailing on Ahsoka. He did everything except saying, hands off my kid.
Pretty much.
Balin is a seer in the Force, possibly. We don't know if that for sure.
I think so, because I think they did mention that in a previous episode.
Okay, so he is a seer.
And it would explain why he knows things and like has more of a foresight than the usual Jedi.
The age is wrong, but Shin as an apprentice to Anakin is, well, war-ending badassery. I mean, that'll be interesting, but Shin's their apprentice to Balin, not Anakin. Hulk smash like button fam. Yes, please give the stream a like, share the stream out. And you like what you see here, click like the subscribe button. Really appreciate it, guys. I thought I did see the braid on Shin. I did too from earlier episodes. Yep. So what was the passage of the time? 10
years.
Decade? Yeah, a decade. Yep. 10 years. I disagree. She didn't believe it was real. It was 10 years. just the ruse. I get that. It wasn't emotionless. LOL. Look at the hug. Yeah, we did see the hug, but it was not like, oh my god, you're alive. Like I'm gonna run to you and all emotional like and hug you. It wasn't like that. It just got like an awkward reunion with a hug. That was pretty much it.
It was way more emotional when Jin and Andor sat on that beach or whatever in Rogue One and like, you know, embraced dying together. Like that hit me way harder, and like we only knew those characters for like an hour and a half. And you know, it's like I didn't feel anything, and they didn't give me anything to feel. I feel like it was kind of
How does Thrawn lose his entire old crew?
We don't know.
We don't know.
They're in his belly. He had to eat something. Floating through space.
When you hug someone, you grasp their shoulder.
Right.
Yep, I'm not sure we ever know how Thrawn lost most of his crew. Maybe we'll say that in the next few episodes. I don't know.
I got very hungry one night.
It was romantic to me. Not really.
No.
I didn't get any vibes of that.
I didn't get
I don't like
all.
this part, too cliche. The galaxy's at stake. Yes, it is.
Yeah.
The galaxy is at stake. I can't wait to go home. Should have been followed by, how fast can you run?
Right? Because we got to go like right now. Like, I don't know how long it took me to find you. We're on like 2 days left. We got to get back there and get out of here. No time to waste.
Bad pacing and plotting. No plan, LOL. The crew is dead. They can float orbit in space.
And
only Thrawn needs air.
Why did Thrawn even tell him about the 3 days? Like, why? That's so dumb.
Being generous. I mean,
he already was so generous.
Or
he
just want to incite.
It's too generous, man.
Is it just to incite more fast pacing?
Yeah, that, and he really doesn't have any plan of like giving him a lift back home. He sent Balin and Shen to like kill him. Like, okay, they can have their reunion, but kill him afterwards. Then he says, well, if Balin and Shen don't make it back, no loss. They weren't essential to my plans.
The witches that Luke encounters in the Expanded Universe novels were all of those years ago. Witches, not witches. That's okay. I know what you meant.
Mm-hmm.
Those witches manipulate the Force through chance. You mean dark magic? I don't think that's really the Force, though.
Yeah.
Thrawn, Fat Thrawn, gives him a Marvel muscle suit. Hey, it's been 10 years, so he has aged. So yeah, he's gonna gain some weight with that, I guess. So do you guys like the show? We'll talk about that in just a minute here. But yes, we're caught up with the chats. All right. My thoughts with these 2 episodes. Episode 5 was very nostalgic. From the Star Wars, the Clone Wars TV series, the prequels, the old movies, very nostalgic. It was very great to see Hayden Christensen reprising his role as Anakin Skywalker. Definitely loved that. The fight scene with him and Ahsoka, I also loved. Ahsoka, struggling her inner self, coming to terms with that, why should I fight? I don't want to fight anymore. But Anakin spiritually saying, if you stop fighting, you die. So there's definitely an internal struggle going on with her that she's trying to balance or conquer within herself. Let's see here. Sabine, she was held prisoner in the hyperspace ring. It was, we get to see Jason foreshadowing that he is force sensitive, that he's using his force powers. It was great to see. It was also great to see more, a little bit more screen time in that episode with Balin and Shin, just a little bit. Of course, Beam's taken prisoner. She's just sitting there, really. With Hera and as rank as general, she risked her rank to help, Ahsoka and Sabine. And, now she's in trouble with the New Republic now. So, she could lose her rank with that. Hopefully not, but we'll see. With episode 6, we definitely get more screen time with Balin and Shin. I was really happy to see that. Balin definitely wants to break this cycle with Jedi Sith. It's something better, something more, but it's really tough to break that cycle. We see Admiral Thrawn. It's been 10 years. Has put a little weight into him. And we also see in the stormtroopers with some kind of like gold plating or something like that, especially one of the captains, Enoch, with the gold face plating. We see some new creatures, the Toti, with like crab-like people. Then we see like some kind of like rat version of a wolf, called a howler. And we finally get to see Ezra. It's definitely more scruffier than we see him last time. It was great to see him.
He's a scruffy nerf herder.
Mm-hmm. Remember that?
But Sabine is not telling how she got to the planet Paradia, and what this decision and the stakes she took
selfish.
to get there to reunite with Ezra. She's not telling him that we can't go home yet. We have stuff to do.
What's she gonna do? Wait till the last day and tell him like, oh yeah, so we have 24 hours now.
I hope not.
I could have told you 2 days ago.
Episode 5. I thought it was more. To me, in my opinion, it was more better than episode 4. Episode 6 a little bit better, but a little bit short, but kind of falls short a little bit. I do enjoy these 2 episodes. I can't wait to see the other 2 episodes hold. Hopefully, it keeps better after this, but I don't know. I'll be I can't wait to see we see next, really. Pop, what are your thoughts with these 2 episodes?
Oh boy. All right. Let me look to my notes here. Did I enjoy these? I'm 50-50. I mean, 5 was a letdown from episode 4. Episode 4 so far has been the peak episode. 5 and 6 was like, yeah. Let's see. Episode 5. I didn't get the lead up to this, the World Between Worlds segment. I understood what Filoni was attempting here, but there was just no emotional weight to it. There was nothing calling back to what Ahsoka was going through. I mean, if you really wanted to make a tie-in to like Clone Wars or Rebels, you could have talked about the guilt that Ahsoka was carrying for decades, but they didn't. It's like this felt hollow to me. It's like forced, contrived. They missed an opportunity here by talking about the guilt Ahsoka had mentioned, and like Rebels or even Clone Wars, about leaving the Jedi Order and abandoning Anakin. Like she left all that behind. She left her friend. She just departed, and then she learned about what happened to Anakin and what he became. So that's a tremendous amount of guilt. They didn't address that. I mean, if you wanted to talk about something about how does she get past that and move on and to overcome something that could be blocking her becoming a Jedi Master. Is like, okay, you got to let go of the baggage you've been carrying for at least 10 years, 20 years, the guilt of abandoning Anakin, not being there for him when he needed you the most. They could have built on that. They could have really had this touching moment of Anakin saying, "Look, I forgive you. You need to forgive yourself. Yes, yes, you did abandon me, but it's okay. I went through my own arc. I went through the dark side. I came out of it. I found a way to redeem myself. It's okay. I forgive you of that. You don't need to be carrying the guilt with you." And through that, they could have overcome whatever was blocking Ahsoka from going further in the Force. So that's a missed opportunity to me. That's so much that could have been done with this world between worlds scene. Instead, we got something like this live or die moment. It's like it has no weight. It has no emotional impact or weight to it. It's like what could have been, what they could have done with it. It just wasn't there for me. It's a missed opportunity. It goes back to uh, bad writing, bad direction. We have the fan speculation, fans pointing out we have Ahsoka the Gray becoming Ahsoka the White. Okay, yeah, we have Tolkien references there. Filoni's trying, but he's not Tolkien. Tolkien is Tolkien. Filoni can't write his way out of a wet paper bag. I'm trying to be generous here. There are things I like about this show, but I see wasted potential, missed opportunities. Let's see, another thing on my notes here. What is the Force? Because this show does not know what the Force is. They don't have a clear direction or grasp of it. It's like the Force is in everything and everybody, but not Sabine, because Sabine's not Force sensitive. But hey, you don't need to be Force sensitive to be a Jedi, apparently. I did like the callbacks. I did like the member berries to the Clone Wars and such, the battle scenes. Actually seeing Anakin show up was very cool. And seeing them interact was cool. Let's see. Moving on. Carson was great in this episode 5. Seeing him, he was how the audience could relate to this, like him simply saying, "What am I missing here?" And his ad lib stalling was great. It's like, okay, I'll tell you, but you're not going to believe me. That was a great moment there.
Yeah.
Episode 6. Better. We're seeing more Balin and Shin. We're seeing Sabine kind of grow. Well, I won't say grow as a character. We're just seeing Sabine take up space. Not to be mean to her, but yeah, she is there. She's getting more screen time. Now we have this, what I call a Force fake out, where Sabine's trying to use the Force on the door, and we see dust moving, and it's like, oh, it's the Star Destroyer hovering overhead. It's like Force fake out. It's like, haha. It's like it's constantly going. Is she or isn't she? Is she or isn't she? It's like just toying with the audience. Like, is Sabine Force sensitive? No, she's not. Okay, is she? And we'll keep going back and forth on that, I think, all the way through this season. What I like about it, I like the CGI backdrops, the CGI scenery. I could believe they are actually on location with how good this CGI looks. Balin and Shin, easily the two best characters, getting the best dialogue and the best acting here. I quite like Thrawn, his entrance, the Star Destroyer flying over the temple or wherever they are and just hovering there so they could like walk across the TIE fighter bay to the top of the building. That was pretty cool. That was a good entrance. Good actor for Thrawn. I quite enjoyed it. Okay, speculation time. What's the caskets? I'm thinking, I've seen this mentioned in like other forums and whatnot. I'm wondering if they are going to have a invasion of Dathomir Night Sister witches, because we're seeing something that could possibly counter the Force here. We have Dathomir Night Sister magic. I mean, Balin and Shen were kind of weary at them. Like, okay, we don't understand them. We don't get them. The magic could be potentially something that will counter the Jedi and the Sith Force. Like, we've seen how powerful the Jedi and the Sith are, but we have an unknown factor here. We have Dathomirian magic. That's something that could be a wrench in the works here. That could be something that is an unknown factor in the Jedi and Sith galaxy. All they've known is Jedi, essentially their own magic. It's not magic. It's like a form of telekinesis and telepathy. So Dathomirian, that's something unknown. That's an unknown X factor right there. So we could see a build up to a new threat to the galaxy. And I have seen other people comment on, well, I won't say that. I won't say the possible undoing of the Force in the galaxy. I'm not that jaded or cynical. It could be interesting if Favreau was in charge. This would be awesome. This would be an awesome new threat. This could be something where you would see, well, for me, my speculation, a potential alliance between former Jedi and former Sith, having to put aside their differences, join forces, and fight the new threat that is the invasion of the Night Sisters. That could be a potentially interesting take on that. I don't know what Filoni is going to do. That's just my own speculation. That's probably what I would do if I was trying to create something new. That's like the end of my rambling there.
Alrighty. Avion, your thoughts of these two episodes?
Well, yeah, episode 4 was my favorite of the whole thing so far.
Yep.
5 for me, because I'm such a Anakin, like I said, he's like my favorite character. So I love that episode. That's my second favorite, just because of all the Anakin nostalgia.
Mhm.
I guess the nostalgia
good.
baiting, it worked on me.
Mhm.
I love their fight. I loved all the Clone Wars flashback stuff in that
Mhm.
episode.
It was good seeing Anakin again.
Yeah, and Hayden looked great. It's like he put that outfit on. He was right back in the role. It's like he never left. I liked all that stuff. I liked their little conversation. It was kind of like she was drowning, and he's like trying to keep her from letting herself drown in a way. Like, so maybe it was like a near death experience that's got her in there. Maybe she created like an image of the world between worlds in her head. That's why it's like slightly different. There's no portals or anything, but I really liked it. That was the strongest part of that episode for me. The Porgles at the end, and like the Ahsoka the White stuff. I didn't really. It was like 15 minutes long, and it kind of dragged, and I didn't care for that part so much of the episode. But I still really enjoyed episode 5 for me personally. Episode 6 I didn't really like that much. Like, it was too much Sabine. Like, it was just, Ahsoka's in it for 2 minutes. Hu Yang's gonna tell a story in a long time ago in a galaxy far away. That, look, Star Wars is referencing Star Wars. Look at that. And I I don't know. I wanted to see a little bit more of Ahsoka in the episode, but I guess she's traveling, so they had a perfect excuse to kind of sideline her. I was very underwhelmed by Thrawn's actual entrance. Like, I agree with you, Pop. I like the Star Destroyer's entrance and like shaking
Mm-hmm.
the foundation of the world, and like, it was like an intimidating force, and that's what the Star Destroyers used to be.
Yeah.
Like, they used to be the ultimate like intimidation. Like, oh shit, a Star Destroyer is rolling up on us. Like, we're in trouble
Mm-hmm.
now. So I really like that. But like, I didn't watch Rebels, so I don't know Thrawn. I didn't read the Heir to the Empire, so I don't really know anything about him other than like what I've been told from other people, which doesn't really make him that intimidating to me as a
Yeah.
character. I thought he was way too cocky. He had Sabine captured. He could have just killed her there and killed Ezra himself, and then left the planet knowing that all these loose ends have been dealt with. But he's just very cocky, I guess. So he's just gonna take them out in his own
Mm-hmm.
strategic way, which is fine. But yeah, Sabine, like in The Wolf, it was just she's insufferable, and her acting was so terrible in this episode. Like, by
Yeah.
far her worst acting for me. Like, especially the reunion with Ezra. I thought that was just really like not good for me. Like, I didn't feel anything at all. Like I said, like other things with characters like you just met, like it could work. That's like the point I was making. Like in other things, like I've seen characters you barely get to know, but it still hits hard. You know what I mean? When they, I don't know. It just wasn't a very good reunion. And yeah, like I said, Thrawn, meh. I like the Night Sisters. It was really cool seeing Claudia
Mm-hmm.
Black. So the episode definitely gets a point for her being in it and stuff. And the Night
Very
Sisters
cool.
were great. I liked all the visuals, like you were saying as well, like the ruins and the doorways and like some of the shots. It was a cool atmosphere, and it felt very Star Wars. It didn't feel like they were on a green screen. It did feel like they were on like an
Yeah.
actual location. You
Very
were saying
cool.
as well.
Very well done.
So yeah, those are some of the real highlights for sure. But yeah, for me, just like the two main things that were supposed to, hit me with the Thrawn and like the Ezra, they didn't do anything for me. You know what I mean? I guess that's my fault for not watching Rebels. You know what I mean? Shame on me.
Mm-hmm.
But
You didn't do your homework, young man.
yeah, and just the whole thing with Sabine not telling Ezra is so ridiculous. Like, just dig your own. Like, she's just putting herself further in the hole. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
she could have at least by explaining it to him then, it would have been so much better because then he could be like, okay, we have to act now. I understand what you did. You know what I mean? They should have that talk more, but like, it's basically her like saying, can we save it for another episode? We're almost out of time here. Like, like, come on.
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
like,
don't know.
yeah,
It
it's like,
didn't seem good as a character choice.
yeah, it's
But
like she should have said something like, "It's really cool seeing you, Ezra, but hey, I've got some bad news for you."
right, like I made a big mistake. Like she's
Mm-hmm.
never like admitted that it was a mistake or anything. That's another thing that bugs me. Like she's like completely fine with her decision. I'm like,
Right.
that's even worse than you doing the decision. Like if you were felt bad, that then I can understand and sympathize with you. But the fact that you're just like, it's all good. Like we'll get through this. Don't worry. Plot armor's got me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she
No,
acts
it's
like she knows the plot armor's there, and that's a big no for me with characters. 'Cause
for me.
I don't fear that they're
Yeah.
gonna get hurt in any way. Like in that fight, that fight where she should have died. Like there's no reason that guy should have shot her tracking device. He had her in his scopes, and she's just completely unaware. And he shoots her device. Why? You could just shoot her anywhere, and she doesn't not even wearing a helmet.
Right.
It's ridiculous, but
No,
yeah.
I felt the same way about what was it, episode 1 or 2, where the assassin droids have the element of surprise on Ahsoka, and they just waste it by, "Hi, we're here. We're going to look and act menacing. All the while, we could have just shot you in the back." And
hmm Or self-destructed while she was down in the ruins and just have it cave in on her.
yeah,
And well, I mean, before she could even react, while she was solving the video game puzzle
Video
with the
game
Guardians of
puzzle.
the Galaxy orb.
yeah. It's
But
like I'm the villain. I'm going to monologue, telling you my dastardly plans,
oh
all the
yeah,
while you're planning your escape.
and then
Yep.
self-destruct activated, all super loud. But yeah, that was. But I'm excited for episode 7 still. I do want to watch it.
Yeah. I
And
There's only
do
eight.
2
want to
episodes
see
left.
where this is going. I do have
Yep.
some hope that it's going to redeem itself.
Yep. Let's get to the chat.
Yeah.
Panel Wannabe says Thrawn spared to keep in shape. This is the new Disney canon.
Oh, do you mean sparred or like he was sparring? Because I know I was hearing like he sparred with like he had droids on his ship that he would spar with to like
Oh yeah.
stay ready.
I betrayed Hera
I like
and
this.
Ahsoka. I have no
This is
plans
great.
to get you back to the ship that's going to leave anytime now. They haven't said anything about. And by the way, what have you been up to, Ezra?
Right? Just a whole bunch of crap to lay on him, and she's just like, it'll be fine later, even though we only have a couple days.
I like the show behind Mando so far, above the others for sure.
Oh yeah, Kenobi.
Everyone is force sensitive.
Right.
Stop watching G and G. They
Geeks
are
and
not
gamers.
real life. Geeks and gamers? Okay, real. That was a good cut. LOL. The problem we watch people that are bitter. LOL. G and G and Neurotic are jaded.
I must confess, I'm
hate everything.
Yeah, I'm getting dangerously close to being jaded myself, but I try to pull back from time to time.
They only like One Piece because it's not woke. LOL.
Yeah.
They grade things higher because it's not woke. LOL. Ranker Steve says, I figured it out. Star Wars is just a dream.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
Could be worse. Do you see the flaws? Yes. Palps did know of and used the green force magic from Rebels, just letting the non-rebelers know. GG are not accurate rate. They say Cobra Kai is better than everything because it's not woke. Everyone, I'm out. Peace for Cal. Thanks for coming, Tim. You have a good night.
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
If they stopped making new Star Wars the way it is now and went back to the original roots, we could have amazing stuff.
We would.
Later, Tim talks. Thanks for joining us tonight. Thrawn and would leave Sabine and Ezra alive and behind. He would know this would affect the Rebels when he comes back. Absolutely. No doubt about that. Honestly, I have so much original EU content. All the Disney stuff is such a small section of Star Wars. It can easily get forgotten or disregarded.
Yep.
What about the sequel?
So much more. I'm pretty familiar with the old movies, the prequels, some of the TV shows. There's some TV shows I haven't seen. There's some movies I haven't seen. That will catch up on at some point eventually. But yeah, there's a lot of novels that haven't read or I'm not really familiar about. There's so much more lore behind it before that you've seen on TV screen. So much more, and it's quite a shame that Disney is ignoring all that because it's not the direction where they're going, and they considered it non-canon.
Right. Well, they are aware of it, but then Kathleen Kennedy had that now infamous comment. It's like, it's a shame there's just no source material that we can draw on.
But there is source material.
That's one of the dumbest things she said. Easily. That's top tier dumb.
Yeah, we fans all are aware of like the Marvel comics and the Timothy Zahn novels, the extended universe, but Disney just plain and simply ignored all that. They wanted to create their own mythos with Force Awakens. We have Rey, we have a Han Solo wannabe, we have all those other characters.
Poor Finn, we have completely wasted.
We have a replacement for R2D2 named Beach Ball 8. I'm sorry, BB-8.
It's such a good idea too. A stormtrooper turning sides, like what an interesting start, and then they just did nothing with it.
No, Finn. I was excited for Finn. I thought
it was interesting. A stormtrooper turning to the light side. I'm like, this is cool. Like,
and potentially a Jedi or a force-sensitive force user who left the Empire. That had so much potential, but man, they did him so wrong.
So wrong.
I felt sad. I felt sorry for that actor. I plain forgot his name.
John Boyega.
John Boyega. Yeah, I liked him. I wanted to see so much from his character, but they gave us a cliche. They made him a space janitor, essentially.
Yeah, that's the shit a droid would do. That's ridiculous to think a stormtrooper would have that job. That's what droids do. Droids do all the jobs that the humans don't want to do. It was pretty much established in Star Wars. That's kind of the sad way it is. Droids are the lower class.
I'm a part of the
But
annual
yeah,
viewing
freaking
of the
Space
Star
Janitor.
Wars Holiday Special. This will be my 3rd year. Awesome.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
YouTube lets everything fly except the Boba Fett animation part in the middle of the Holiday Special. Oh, okay. All right. That's episode 5 and 6. Next week, we'll be taking a break, so no review next week. However, we'll be back on the first week of October, which is the 5th. So yeah, we'll be talking about episode 7 and 8, not next week, but the following week. October 5th, we'll be talking about those 2 episodes. Also, please follow me on my gaming channel. I do play games. I'll be playing Gotham Knights and Hogwarts Legacy this weekend, starting tomorrow. So check me out there. And also, please follow me on my gaming Twitter profile for updates when I'm going live. Let's see here. Profile. There you go. There's my gaming channel right there.
Cool.
And also there is my gaming Twitter profile right there as well. Everyone have a good night. I'll be hanging with my good friend Insomnia. Insomnia. Peace, y'all. Get some sleep.
Yeah.
Padawannabe. Also, I want to thank everybody in the chat. Taylor Swift, Greater Than Disney Star Wars, Hakeem, Phil TMT, Rocco the Brave, The Lost Wanderer, The Padawannabe, Mora Kitty, George Lucas,
If that's really George Lucas, that would be so amazing. I always think that, like, if that's really George, just I'm peeping on you guys real quick.
And Castle, and also hope I'm not missing anyone. Hakeem says, "See ya next stream." Yes, definitely.
Yep. See ya.
Thank you for my panelists, Apion, Pop Culture Republic, and also Positive Candor. Thank you so much, guys. Please like and share the stream out, and subscribe if you like what you're seeing here. And we'll see you guys soon. So have a good night, everybody. We'll see you later.
Night, all.
Night.
If
this is your first time being here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You can also follow me on Twitter and Instagram at RaquelSSG2211. Catch you later.